It's here. Probably. Hopefully that's not wishful thinking. But we've got Jeffro. Is it Bodine? Jeffrey Bodine?
Yeah, it's just a play on the Beverly Hillbillies.
Sounds good.
Did you ever watch the Beverly Hillbillies?
So he loaded up his truck and moved to Beverly.
Yeah, that's it.
All right. What you got for us?
It's actually Jeff, but that's the name I chose. Anyways, so I guess I think everybody is confused by your title.
I don't
see
think
that
everybody is.
Yeah, well, no, I see it. Everybody that gets on here is like, why do you just pick on Jesus and Paul? I mean, if you don't believe in none of the Bible, won't you say none of the Bible is real? Prove us wrong.
Because there are parts that are real?
Like what? What do
Like
you
the
believe in?
existence of people who we can actually confirm? Like Pilate?
Well, I mean, of course. We can
Okay.
prove
Well,
that
then
in
if I
Israel.
said,
That's
hey,
true.
the Bible isn't real, someone could come up and say, well, is Pilate part of the Bible? Yes. Okay.
But
Well,
why do
there
you
he's
say
real. There you go.
Jesus and the 12 disciples didn't exist?
Because if Jesus didn't exist, he can't have disciples, can he?
No, I mean,
Okay.
people.
Well, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure out that saying Jesus didn't exist is also going to take care of the disciples. Was there anything else that you'd like for me to point out to you that a 5 or 6-year-old could probably put together?
Well, I mean, you don't have any proof that he didn't exist.
I do have proof that the Jesus that's presented
No,
in the
you
New
don't.
Testament didn't
You have
exist.
the
Yep.
same kind of proof that we have.
Nope.
Tradition, hearsay,
No.
blah blah blah.
No. Tradition and hearsay do not come into play whenever there is a claim in a text that someone is born 10 years before they're born. Tradition doesn't have anything to do with it, and hearsay doesn't have anything to do with it.
Oh, it
You can't be
does.
born 10 years before you're born. That's an impossibility.
Yeah, but I mean, you don't have birth records. Either
okay.
way, I don't have birth records.
Regardless of
None
if
of
you
us
have a
birth
record or not, can you be born 10 years before you're born?
Yeah, people do it all the time. People fake
Okay.
their
So you
their
think
birthday all the
that
time.
Jesus was born and then 10 years later Mary gave birth to him?
I don't delve into that, and the reason is 'cause I
Okay,
don't
well, that's
care how
because you
fake-
don't actually read about whether or not these things are historically possible or even humanly
Well,
possible.
Well, if you ask Google, they're saying something different than you. You're just some dude on
no.
TikTok.
If you
that
ask
decided to
Google,
make
can
up
you be
dates.
born 10 years before you're born? Google will tell you no. I don't know what kind of Googling you've been doing.
No, I'm talking about the dates that you have written down. I mean, I've looked.
The dates I
tried to
have written
research-
down? What dates have I written
Yeah.
down?
Well, it's like
What dates have I written down?
You guys think Marcion.
What
and
dates
Luke
have I
is in the
written
same
down?
era,
Sweet.
and that is wrong.
That doesn't have anything to do with what I just said. How
Well,
can
your
you be born
no,
10
your
years
chat-
before you're born?
your Chat, who is pretentious? You have the most pretentious chat, but that they think that
Pretentious? That's a
Luke-
weird way to say knowledgeable.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I guess that's your opinion, but they are pretentious.
And my opinion, and this
A
is
bunch
true,
of
is
miserable
actually
people,
more correct
but-
than yours, considering the fact that I can actually back mine up, and you're still
then
trying to
then
struggle
how
with
come it
trying to
is that
figure out how
every-
you can be born 10 years before you're born.
How come it is that every one of your people think that
That you're
Luke
wrong
and
because you're wrong?
Marcion are of the same era? They're not.
Okay.
They're
And
not.
what is your
One's the
evidence that
first
Luke is in the
century,
first
and one
century?
is second century.
What's your evidence that Luke is in the first century?
Well, just historical record, I guess.
Like what?
Tradition. Here's some,
What's the historical record of Luke in the first century?
just all the writings we have of Luke.
Sweet.
Who
When do
was
they?
a
When do we
scholar?
first get
Who was
writing
a
of Luke?
scholar,
When do we first get
not
writing
a
from Luke?
follower.
When do we first get any mention of Luke?
In the Bible, which is historical fact to me.
Okay. And when was that written?
Well, I don't know all the dates. man.
Yeah, see, that's the
Got
thing.
me there.
You're telling me that my dating is wrong, and you have no idea
I mean,
what
just from
dates
what I've-
you're even trying to argue for.
Just from what I've researched.
You haven't researched shit. How are you born 10 years before you're born? Please explain that.
Well, when do you think the Bible was written? And I'm not talking about when.
Well, I
the
already
church
gave you
got
the answer,
together.
but we're still working about this 10-year. We're still working on this 10-year problem.
No, I
How
have an
can you be
answer.
born 10 years before you're born? How is that possible?
Oh, I'm not saying you can. I'm saying people claim.
Okay.
it.
All right, sweet. So is it possible that Mary gave birth to Jesus, and then Mary was pregnant with Jesus, and then 10 years later gave birth to Jesus?
Well, I mean, I've heard.
Is that
all-
possible?
Well, no, I mean, but I'm not saying you're
Okay,
right.
sweet. Well, unfortunately, the Gospel of Matthew and the Gospel of Luke do not line up with each other, not only in the genealogy of Jesus, as you can probably read. Well, I don't know about you specifically. I use the you royally there because it's
Yeah.
pretty obvious you haven't done any reading past maybe second or third grade. That being said, we also see that the story itself doesn't even line up with itself,
Pretentious in its
and the
finest right
time
here.
and the time frame that it's actually talking about doesn't line up with itself either. So we can tell that the Jesus that's presented by the New Testament can't exist and didn't exist because it is humanly impossible for someone to be born and then 10 years later, the same woman gives birth to that baby, the same baby.
Well,
that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, obviously.
Yeah. So the Jesus that's presented in the New Testament did not exist. Do you have any evidence whatsoever that he did?
Oh, no, but you don't have evidence.
Sounds
either.
good. Well, I
Everything
just showed you
said.
that he didn't and can't, and then you said the word, and I quote, obviously. Is there anything else you would like to do? Potentially do as Jesus says and turn the other cheek so I can get the other side of your ass?
No, well, I mean, I don't care that you do that kind of thing.
What,
I know
spank
you're
your ass?
Yeah, I don't care. I mean,
You
that
don't care
doesn't
about
bother
that?
me.
Well, okay.
Yeah,
Doesn't
my
bother me
feelings are
either.
not that
Would you
close.
like for me to continue?
Yeah, continue.
Okay.
I love hearing
Sweet.
you.
So what other evidence would you like to present for Jesus and his supposed existence?
I just have faith, man.
Yeah, I know.
It's all faith.
Cool. Sweet. So do the Mormons.
And yes, my mother said, hey, blah, blah. I'm not going to tell you you're burning in hell because I don't know you. I'm not the judger.
A judger is just called a judge.
Yeah, okay.
Just so
well,
you're
I'm
aware.
not the judge. Thank you for correcting me.
You're welcome. That being said, is that it? Is that all you had, or you want to go
Yeah,
ahead
that's
and
it.
drop back down to the people who are more knowledgeable than you?
Yeah.
Okay. See you later, buddy. All right. If there's anything else that anybody has, please come up and present it. We are looking for evidence of Jesus and Paul. The last guy admitted that he didn't have any evidence, and he admitted that it is obvious that Jesus, as presented by the New Testament, could not exist. So he's actually a mythicist. Congratulations, buddy. You're on our side.
Ladies and gentlemen, we got him.
If you're over on YouTube, what is going on? What? If you're over on YouTube, you can click the link in the chat to come on up. The way that I take guests is on TikTok. YouTube does not have that option. So click the link that's in the chat and you can come on up. That's perfectly fine with me. If you don't have a TikTok or don't want to come over to TikTok, that's perfectly fine. You can send a super chat. I will read it out loud and I will respond to it. Much like this most recent super chat, that's $4.99 there from Marv34001. Who says, I tried Stylo. You need at least 10,000 most... You need you need at least 10,000 most used words, which is not even for accurate results. You didn't put that in your little book, did you? Clock is ticking on you. Man. So Marv this is a very sarcastic remark because he's a member over there on YouTube, and so he watched a video here recently where it's only available for members, where we go on to some bad reviews of our book there on Amazon, and we go through them, and somebody said that you need like X amount or whatever, and we were laughing, Matthew and I, that's the me and my co-author, we were laughing about how all these claims for how many words you need are just massively high. And so the biggest number that we saw was 10,000. And so this person just put that. It's a deep sarcasm. It's a deep sarcasm, but it is still sarcasm. Thank you very much, Marv, for your comment. 10,000 most frequently used words is insane. Generally, by the way, generally people say you need 10,000 words per file. The most frequently used words is not 10,000. Every once in a while, people will say like the biggest number I've seen is maybe 1,000 for the most frequently used words, like the MFW. But the most used words at 10,000 would be, I mean, that wouldn't even make any sense. That's bigger than what some people say the entire file should be. That's like 5 times bigger than what some people say the file should be. That's crazy. So it's funny. You did a good job there, Marv. But yeah. $1.99 from the prototype says, is Keith still covered in tomatoes? Maybe. Keith was the guy that we chose to hate yesterday, but it stopped at midnight. But then I think as soon as we said Keith's name, he fucking bailed. So I don't know what happened to Keith, guys. Justice for Keith. Poor Keith. That's bigger than most guests' entire vocabulary. Oh yeah. 10,000 most used words is hilarious. But it's a joke that like only people who have really paid attention to some of the remarks that have been done and everything like that, or done stylo, would actually get. So it was a solid joke. It even got Aaron to some extent, because Aaron commented in response to that super chat and said, I keep missing your sarcasm, which is true. At first, it looks like a crazy person's commenting, but no, it's sarcasm. Did you just chew that smoothie? The answer is yes. There's a shitload of seeds in here. But I'm not going to say that very loud because my wife made it, and it's actually really good. It tastes good. It's just got a lot of seeds, and I think that she would feel bad if I said that. So I'm not going to say that. I'm not going to say that. I am not on. Oh shit! This is on YouTube. Mrs. CBJ, if you are ever watching, the smoothie tastes delicious. All right, it's like chia seeds, but it's like a lot. All right. Oh yeah. Oh, I got the joke there. I got the joke there, Storm. I got it. All right. Let's see. Who is Jackie? Maybe he's going to tell her on FB, probably. $4.99 from Hardwork8395 says, in the Pauline tradition, Keith has received his new name. Queef. All right. Look. I have decided. Oh, look at that. Anyways, I have decided that I am going to try this new thing out. All right. You'll notice on the board back here, the name, let me go to this side. Amadeus Almighty. Amadeus Almighty is a great streamer. You should definitely check out his TikToks. He goes over a plethora of different things. So he's not just like over like Jesus or Paul or anything like that. I don't think he ever really, I mean, every once in a while he might get into Paul. He gets over Jesus every once in a while, like it goes over that kind of topic. But as far as like God and even science, like it's really, really cool. So what I want to see is I want to see a whole bunch of attack marks or tally marks there for Amadeus Almighty. I want to see people get creative with Amadeus Almighty. You guys are getting all cutesy with the Q word there. You're getting all weird with the Q word. I want to see people get creative with Amadeus Almighty. That's what I want. That's what I want. That's what I want. So Amadeus Almighty, make sure that you're his eyes rolled back when I started talking about mythicism. Yeah, that checks out. All right. Let's see. Fact check says stop Christianophobia. I don't even really know what that means. Fact check, if you want, you can come on up and have a discussion. Your profile's set to private, so I can't bring you up here. But you can't comment anymore. Wolfgang Amadeus Almighty. Yeah, that's funny. Let's see. Nunya says that Paul existed. Nunya, you can come up if you like. Amadeus Almighty, alrighty then. Yeah, that's funny. I like that one. Okay. Storm getting a little too cutesy there with the a little too creative with the $1.99 from Madam Storm says this, I know I'm gonna hear it. I know I'm gonna end up hearing it. That's the problem. Wait, how fast can I? Oh, I think I could probably end up saying it. $1.99 from Madam Storm says Rock Me Days. Rock Me Days. There we go. There it is. There it is. There it is, everybody. Yay! He said it. He said it. He said it. Yeah. Yeah, there it is. um, rock me, Amadeus. All right, we'll go with that. Let's see. $1.99 from the prototype says, "Oh, Amadeus, 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 let me go." Yeah, that's it. I'm trying to figure out which way to say it. No, but $1.99. A queef a day keeps the demons away. All right. If you got any evidence for Jesus or Paul, come on up, guys. Come on up. Come on up. I want to hear from you. We've got somebody who's got some evidence for Jesus or Paul. Well, actually, no, he told me he didn't, but maybe he has used ChatGPT or figured out how to Google or possibly even read or write, and he's back up here to give us the evidence for Jesus or Paul. What you got there, Jeffro?
No, I'm not here for that. I just
Oh,
want
you're
to
not? Well, that's the
apologize.
topic. So try requesting back up whenever you got evidence for Jesus or Paul there, Jeffro. Thanks for coming up. If anybody else has any evidence, come on up. The request button is right here or down here. If you're on YouTube, click the link that's in the chat. I'll make sure to put that link there in the chat. Let me go ahead here. I think I know. This is somebody whose name starts with J. Is it?
No, I know. It's a graphic design degree still. I have. Are we still gonna fight about it?
Say what?
Oh, sorry. Oops. Wrong guy.
Does Bellevue know that she is out? It's 11:41 over there. What is going on? Do they have lunch breaks? Somebody alert the orderlies. All right, $5. They're from Foodie Unloaded. Good question here. Are you familiar with the annual event of the Holy Fire that occurs in Jerusalem? So yes, there is actually multiple accounts from people who have been involved with this, who have admitted that this is something that they more or less fake. So there's something that is placed onto like the hands of people, and they just kind of pass it around. That's all that it is. It's just like a it's some kind of a liquid that just it can burn on top of the hands. I can't remember the exact name of it. There's a sciencey answer to this, but yes, I am familiar with it. It's not like a miracle or anything like that, and there have been people who have got burned by it, believe it or not. But it is something that happens. Is it a yearly thing? I think it's a once a year thing, and people go over there. It's like a tourist kind of thing. That's all that it is. There's a whole tourism like industry within religion, like religious tourism. And just like anything else within, any other society or any other economy or any other field or industry, it's going to make a lot of money. And so it is within these people's best interests to try to keep up the facade that this is some kind of miraculous thing or something that's really important. You'll also start to see copycats as well. That's why you have like 3 different tombs over in Jerusalem that claim that they are the tomb of Jesus, even though none of them have any evidence that it ever was. But yeah, the Holy Fire thing is the idea that there's this like church or some kind of place, I can't remember exactly where it is, where these like a priest will bring out this flame that if you touch it, you're not going to get burned or something, and they kind of like pass it around. But people have actually experienced burns, and some different priests who have been involved in it explain exactly how it is done, and they say that they actually light it, and the flame is supposed to like never go out or something, but it's pretty clear and pretty obvious that they do light it, and they've admitted to this. Anyways, Justice 2224, what you got?
In the Council of Nicaea, it It's
The what?
talking about
The Council of
sorry.
Nicaea, you said? Like the first council?
No. I'm apologizing. Thinking of a different topic. In 93 AD, Joseph
Okay.
Tacitus writes a book called The Antiquities of the
Say what?
Jews.
Tacitus, you said?
Yes, sir.
That doesn't make a lot of sense.
Writes. He's a Roman
No.
historian writing a book called The History of the Jews.
Okay, so that's not Tacitus. Tacitus is writing in 116 and he writes a book called Annals. He was a former Roman senator.
I apologize for my mistake, but Antiquities of the Jews, written in 93 AD,
By who?
talks. Let me.
I'd like to comment if I can. Well, I saw that you mentioned.
Just 1 second there, period. 1 moment. Justice, were you able to find it? I've got the name on the board back here. Kind of. I mean, it's the way that
I
a lot
can't.
of people try to.
I'm kind of stupid.
All right, so it's Josephus.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So really fast, like I said, here on the board, I put down like how people like sometimes say it because they don't know how to say it. I've literally heard people try to say Joe Feces, which is insane. But point is, in the last about ever since the 14th of July, so about 3 weeks, I have had this conversation 44 times. Would you like to be the 40? Well, actually, I've already put you down here. I've had
Like,
it 43
I do
times, and then I
wanna
put the tally mark
understand-
there for you. So do you think that you are
I
going
do
to
wanna
present
understand
Josephus in
here.
a way that is going to be different, or would you just like to, are you just asking questions?
No, I just want to understand like what your argument is on Josephus.
Yeah. So it's an interpolation. So the most famous paragraph there from Josephus is called the Testimonium Flavianum. It talks about Pilate and Jesus and crucifixion and Christians and miracles and disciples and all kinds of things. The resurrection.
Mhm.
So the point is, this is an interpolation. It's added and written and added later on by somebody named Eusebius, writing a little over 200 years after the death of Josephus. Actually, believe it or not, right before the First Council of Nicaea, as you
So
mistakenly kind
yes.
of brought up earlier.
Yes.
So right before that, Constantine hires a guy named Eusebius, or commissions him to write a history for the church. Eusebius he says that he has no problem with lying to advance the church or advance certain beliefs, and he comes up with the Testimonium Flavianum. It has phrases that are Eusebian in nature, so in other words, things that he says, and he says quite a bit, but Josephus either doesn't say or means them in a different way everywhere else outside of that paragraph. So it's very obvious that Josephus didn't write it, but Eusebius did, and he's also the first person to even bring it up. He says, let us now make use of Josephus the Jew, and then gives us that paragraph for the first time ever.
So, continue the conversation a little. You mentioned Pilate.
Mm-hmm.
Why does Pilate's writings also mention how he crucified Jesus?
We don't have any writings from Pilate.
The next person, I have a source. I just need to find it if you don't mind.
You have a source for writings of Pilate?
I might be retarded, but I have.
To be fair, that was against himself. Come on, man. You can't be saying that. Why'd you say that, man? You're still here. Explain yourself.
I remember reading something.
Yeah, I know, but you don't refer to yourself as that, man.
I'm sorry.
Okay. Well, make it snappy, man. My patience is now. You're on pretty thin ice.
That's what I said. Please move on.
To somebody else?
Yes, sir.
I mean, do you have any evidence? Did you just pull that out of your ass? Like, how did you?
No, sir. I'm trying to find it.
Listen, here. I'm going to cut to the chase. We don't have anything from Pilate. At best, we have something called the Pilate cycle, which is written in like the 4th to 5th century, all the way to the 10th century, is the last addition to these collection of writings. These are things written in the 4th to 5th century at earliest. Pilate doesn't even make it halfway through the 1st century. Like,
Yes.
no, we do not have any writings from Pilate. We don't. We have zilch, zero, nada, nil, null, zero.
Hey, at that point, I concede.
Okay.
Like I admitted I conceded 5 minutes ago. I don't know why
Okay.
you're
So,
on this
well,
train.
so what else do you have? What else do you have for Jesus or Paul?
Nothing. As of right now, nothing.
All right. Well, go try to find something, and also, so I want you to get knowledge, and I also want you to take that word that you used and kick that out of your brain, and then come back later with a new vocabulary and new knowledge. Sound good?
All right.
All right. Jesucristo.
Man, I apologize for that. Like, I wanted to come here and debate, and I just ended up learning more knowledge from you, honestly. I was just gonna tell you a joke that my cousin's name is Jesus, so he's alive. But I was just gonna joke around with that. I'm sorry you're dealing with these kind of people, man.
Well, no, that just kind of happens.
Thank you for educating me, too.
Yeah,
I really
not a problem.
appreciate it.
Not a problem. That was, I guess, just a period. Period, guys. That was period. Thank you for coming up there. Thanks. All right. Redacted. Or as Aaron loves to put into the comments, retracted. I'm pretty sure everyone would know exactly what you were going for there. Man, I'm not even going to say the phrase because... All right. We got someone coming up who I think has got some evidence for Jesus or Paul. Pretty sure. We'll find out. Hopefully. Oh.
What's up?
Okay. Imagine if 30.
Yeah. So what's up?
Well, the topic?
Jesus is fucking real, man. What the fuck are you talking about?
Okay. So did he exist 2,000 years ago is the question.
No, he still exists.
Okay. Well, how did you determine he was alive 2,000 years ago?
Because he's eternal, nigga.
Okay. And how did you determine that he was eternal?
Because he is. So how can you explain?
Now, how did you get that?
Because I know that. I feel that.
All right.
And
So
I
just your
study.
feelings?
Yeah, it's a feeling because
Sweet.
he's a spirit. So you can feel the spirit.
Okay. Ask your mom if she
Yeah,
can
sure.
feel my dick.
What?
That was a little bit more explicit than I usually go, but that was funny. All right. So if anybody's got any evidence for Jesus or Paul, come on up. Yeah. I apologize. That wasn't something that was beneath me. That wasn't very becoming of me. So I apologize. I shouldn't have said it. All right.
That wasn't very cash money of you, Jared.
I'm not being the man that Mr. Rogers told me I could be.
I won't take up too much of your time because I saw that you didn't have anyone in the request, and I wanted to ask you a quick question.
Yeah, sure.
What is your position on the soul?
The soul?
Yeah, like, do you believe that human beings contain like souls
Yeah,
and spirit?
I've got like a couple.
That's
like right here.
really you're hilarious.
I've got some more as well. Like, how many you want?
Are you flexing on me right now? This is insane.
Like, I don't know what to tell you.
Do you believe that there's a metaphysical energy harbor and like existing within inside of your body? You ain't got nobody in the request, Jaren. You can answer my question.
No.
Thank you. All right, get back to Jesus and Paul. I'll talk to you another day.
All right, see you. That was ILYSI. That was like elevator music. Like, is she in a spa? Was she flexing on me? I don't know what that was going on. I have no idea what was going on there. Speaking of bringing up friendlies who can say some things that at least one of us enjoy. What's going on? Vice.
Hello, how are you doing today?
I am doing all right. I'm doing all right.
I'll behave today.
Oh, behave. Okay. What you got for us?
Season 1, episode 6 of You Look Good, and I Like Your Hat.
Well, thank you kindly. This particular hat has a band on it that I had to repair, or I guess replace, because the last band was, como se dice, weak sauce, and it came off. I don't know why. I have no idea why. So I went and got the. I think they put like the really cheap ones on there that are just gonna fall off, and they're just like, yeah. They always come back for the hat bands in the dark. Yeah,
Testicle behavior. Oh, was that not behaving? My bad.
I'm just wondering why. Oh wait, are you? Wait, okay.
Because it falls off too early. It finished too early. Testicle behavior. I said what I said.
Are we friends?
Are we not?
I think we are. I'm
think we're
pretty
friends.
sure we are. So, since we're friends, I feel pretty good at doing this.
Pull the lever, Gronk.
Oh, love it. Okay. All right. Thank you very much, Vice, for coming up. That was Vice, everybody. Make sure to follow Vice. She goes live all the time. That I'm live. Except for now. I don't know. Maybe she went to her own life now. Maybe she has 2 phones. Maybe I should stop clapping. No. All right. Next person up here is... well, actually, there's a couple people here, it looks like. Jay, what you got there for us, Jay?
Hey, how you doing, man?
Doing good. What you got?
I think you have another guest. I'll be quiet and listen, and after that, I'll come back up if you don't mind.
No, it's perfectly fine. This other guest is absolutely not going to argue for the existence of Jesus. What you got?
Okay, you said Jesus and Paul never existed?
Yes. Wait, hold up. Yes.
That's new to me, man. You don't believe in the Bible?
I don't believe in the... You ask just the entire Bible, or what are we talking about here?
Like mainly the New Testament.
Well,
you don't believe in the New Testament?
Like the story that it's saying?
No, the letters and the
Well,
book
no.
of Acts.
No.
No? Okay. May I ask
Why
your
would I?
belief, if you don't mind?
I believe that Jesus and Paul never existed. Do you have any proof that they did?
Yeah, but there's historical evidence that Jesus walked on the earth. That's not even biblical.
Like what?
That's have you read about Flavius Josephus? He's an historian. He's not
It's
not
like
in the Bible.
Josephus? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. Well, he spoke about Jesus.
All right. I have had this conversation prior to you 44 times in the last 3 weeks. Do you think that the 45th time is going to be the time that you convince me that Josephus actually did talk about Jesus?
Come on, man. You sound like a very smart guy. So I'm not trying here to convince you. I just wanted to bring some historical evidence.
Well, considering the fact that I say that Jesus didn't exist, and I've talked about Josephus 44 times in the last 3 weeks, and I'm still saying Jesus didn't exist, and I just put your ass up there on the tally mark count, do you really think that Josephus wrote about Jesus?
Yeah, I believe he wrote about. It's not only Josephus. Okay, all right.
Who
Let's
else?
consider someone else. Um. Okay. Can I ask another question aside to the prompt? Do you believe in David existed?
David?
Yeah.
Maybe.
Why maybe?
Because there's a possibility that his name is on the Tel Den Stele.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna come up with because
Yeah, I
there
know.
is.
It's pretty obvious when you chose David out of everyone else you could have asked.
I mean, there's like what I was gonna say. There was a archaeological discovery evidence, and there was
For Jesus?
there. No, not necessarily for David. I was gonna go with David with you
Okay, well,
because
do you see David on the background?
no. I
Well,
just
I
wanted to
already
see
answered your question, and I told you
your
exactly where we could find potential evidence for him. Please go back to the topic. Jesus and Paul. Do you have any evidence that they existed?
yes,
I mean, you
yes.
brought
I
up
have a lot of
Josephus, but I mean, if you want to talk about it and be the 45th time that we discuss it, be my guest. But he didn't say anything. It's added into his book later on.
okay. So I believe the book of Acts is true,
Okay.
and I believe that Jesus walked on earth,
That's not
and
in
I believe
Acts. That's really weird.
I believe. I mean, come on, man.
Acts
The
doesn't
last
have
couple,
that.
the last chapters of the book of Acts. The book of Acts is written by Luke. Luke wrote Luke, and he
Where does
wrote
it
Acts.
say that the book of Acts is written by Luke? Where does it say that?
What is? You don't believe that?
No. It doesn't say it, does it? Do you have a verse for that? Here, I'll do you
I
a
mean,
solid. Here, look, we're gonna pull up the
yeah.
Bible here for you. And I want to see where you think that the gospel that Acts is written by the author of
By the
Luke.
way, Act is not a gospel. It's the story of the
The
church.
book
The
of Acts. Yeah,
gospel, the
sweet.
yeah.
So where in the book of Acts does it say Luke wrote it? I mean, there's a certain verse or something? Like what are we looking for?
It's not all the books title the author,
Cool. Well,
but
okay, then how did
it
you
says
determine it
in the
was written?
because in the first book he was referring to the book of Luke.
Okay.
That's
Sweet. Where in this book does it say that Luke wrote it?
the author's name is not in the book, but
Okay, so how did you determine? So Acts doesn't have the author's name, but it starts in the same way that another book does, and that book doesn't have the author's name, so we know it's Luke. Is that the argument you wanted to go with?
I mean, I understand. I do understand your point. I do understand your
Did you
point.
have a point? Did you have an argument for how you know that
Yeah.
Luke wrote it?
Well, like Apostle Paul died in Rome. It's not in any of his book that he died in Rome.
We are trying to figure out whether or not Luke wrote something. What you just said has nothing to do with that.
No, that was a parenthesis that opened. We're talking about Jesus and Paul, right?
Okay, cool. Well, you said
That's
Luke wrote Acts. Either admit that you don't know if he did, and you were just kind of saying something, or show me evidence that he did.
I do see your point, but my point
All right,
was,
so make your
though-
side. Like,
even
give me
though you
your
don't-
side of the argument that Luke wrote Acts.
Okay, can we get back? Let's get back.
No, because you said something, and I want to make sure that you either admit that you were just saying something and you don't have any evidence for it, or give me the evidence for it. I mean, I'll give you the opportunity to give the evidence. Please, do it.
That's not the initial debate, though. It was
I know,
about Jesus and Paul.
But if you built your argument, you try to build your argument on top of that. And as a non-existent fictional character once said, a wise man builds his house upon the rock, not upon the sand. You try to build your argument on nothing. You try to say that part of your argument was that Luke wrote Acts. That was part of what you were building up to. And I'm trying to show you that the foundation for your argument is bullshit. Please either provide the evidence for what you said or say that you don't have any evidence for what you said. It's one or the other.
not all the author's name is written in any of the book in the
Okay.
Bible.
Okay.
You're
So
probably
how?
not gonna
Okay,
believe
that's fine. So how did you determine it was Luke?
by research. All
Researching.
the
Okay,
research
sweet,
showed
sweet. So what did you
all
research,
the
please?
all the research showed me that the book of Luke,
Yeah.
the book of Luke is written by Luke, and the book of
Okay.
Acts is
So
written by Luke.
what research? So you did the research. So what'd you find? What was it that showed you during all your research that you did? And I'm going to trust you that you did the research. What did you find that showed that Luke wrote Luke? And we'll pull up Luke
Oh,
here. We've got Luke. We got the Gospel of Luke pulled up. What research showed you that he wrote that? What research showed you that?
okay, so I don't have the research that I have on the top of my head right now
Okay.
because
But you felt
it's
so sure about it that you brought it up. It was part of your argument. You felt really confident in it, but you can't, off the top of your head, explain it.
you stopped me in the middle of the road, the way where
Right,
I
yeah.
was gonna go
That's
with
because
that.
I'm going to stop you in the middle of building a house if you're not building it on top of a solid foundation. I'm going to stop you in the middle of your argument if you're saying something demonstrably false. So please,
Well,
provide the evidence for your foundation.
what I was gonna
Or
go
now
with that
I
is
will continue the conversation if you admit that you said something you don't have any evidence for. If you admit that, then I won't even make fun of you. I will move to the next point. But you're going to have to say that verbatim. You're going to have to say, I said something that I don't have any evidence for. And then we'll continue the conversation.
like I said, I don't remember it right now. I agree. I don't remember it right now. The research that showed me that Luke wrote Luke.
So you don't
I
have
don't
any evidence
remember.
to back up what you said? Just admit that you didn't. Or
Okay,
admit
I
you
don't
did,
have the
admit that you
evidence
don't.
right
Okay.
now.
You don't
I
have
don't
the
have the
evidence,
evidence
right
right
now.
now.
Does that mean that you'll have the evidence in the future?
No, because I don't want to waste your time. Like, I'm driving right now. Go back to my books, research. Where did I find it? No. I'm not gonna lie to you. Yeah, you can go ahead.
Okay, so just move to the next point.
I have to be, I have to be really transparent with you. But
Okay. So move to your
yeah,
next point. What's your next
yeah.
point?
So my next point is there are things that's true, but that's not in the Bible. For example, the, I know you're gonna ask me for evidence where Apostle Paul died in Rome. I believe that he died in Rome, and I researched it too, but it's not in the Bible. I don't even remember the
So where
author,
did
the book.
So you've already caught on to this little shtick of mine where you say something and I ask for proof and then you don't have it. Like that. You see how this works?
Yeah,
This is how
no,
every conversation between a historicist or someone who believes that Jesus and Paul existed and a mythicist like myself, this is how every conversation goes. One side says something and doesn't have good evidence for it, or points to other things, like you pointed from Acts to Luke and said, oh, well, the author of Luke wrote Acts, so there's my answer. And it's like, well, who wrote Luke? And you're like, I don't know. Eventually what it comes down to is a complete and total house of cards. You don't have a solid foundation because there's no evidence to back up what you're saying. It's just gonna go to nothing. So please, without having any text that mentions that Paul died in the 60s, because there's nothing in the first century that ever mentions Rome, ever mentions him dying in Rome. Nothing even mentions him in the first century at all. This is Paul. No non-Christian ever mentions Paul ever in antiquity, unless they're talking about the books that the Christians have.
So you
I
believe
don't
the
know.
book of,
I don't know how you even have evidence that he lived, let alone that he died in 60, when that's not even in the Bible.
so yeah, you don't believe the books of the Christian had, like you just mentioned, existed?
Like what?
For real?
Like what?
The New Testament books. You don't
The New
believe they
Testament shows
existed
up in the 2nd century. It does not show up in the 1st.
in the 2nd century?
Yes.
Okay, when did you believe that the temple destroyed?
The
Temple
temple
of
was destroyed in
Jerusalem.
70.
What evidence do you have for that?
The archaeological remains of it and of the destruction, not to mention multiple accounts of it from people who were actually there.
But Josephus talk about the destruction of the temple in 70 AD as well. Why you believe
Because
that,
he
but
was
you don't
there.
believe? He also mentioned Jesus. Why you don't believe that was true though?
What did I tell you earlier about that? Please tell me
No, 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 no.
exactly
You
what I
you
said.
make a very good point, and I
I
like
know.
that. You believe the temple destroyed in 70 AD, and you said, Joseph, you agree that Joseph spoke about that.
Yep.
But you also disagree that Joseph is talk about Jesus.
Yes.
And I read that Joseph spoke about Jesus.
Okay. I'm
Why you
aware
believe
that
in
in the
part what
10th
he said?
I'm aware in the
Uh-huh.
10th century manuscript that we have from Josephus's Antiquities of the Jews, it mentions Jesus. Wars of the Jews is the text that talks about like the destruction of the temple, but
Uh-huh.
regardless, the point is Antiquities of the Jews is interpolated into, and we can tell through a myriad of different ways. The paragraph you're referring to is something that is added by a man named Eusebius. Wars of the Jews isn't just about an entire book that culminates with the destruction of the temple in 70, which is when he fucks off over to Rome. This is Josephus. So that's not something that's added to the text. That's the entire point of the text. So yeah, he does talk about that. It was something that he was alive for and actively involved in. He does not talk about something that is added to his other text later.
Oh, my brother. I think I'm gonna end here. Like I spoke
Sounds
to one
good.
of the Muslims the other day, and
You
they
talked to
said
one of the what?
what they don't wanna believe.
You
They
talked to
say it
one of the
was
what?
added. Never mind, never mind. I corrected that. My bad. But
I
my
don't know
point
what you
is,
said.
I think you pick and choose what to believe, what you don't want to believe.
Yeah,
I cannot
you know how I
convince you
do it?
because
Evidence.
uh,
Yeah, I pick and choose based off of
what
evidence.
evidence that it was added? Part of what Joseph is saying was added. We don't have evidence for that.
Yes, we
We
do.
just don't want to believe.
Not only do we have stylometric evidence, where you're able to actually like take a distance formula, or you're able to use literary analysis that uses math to actually analyze the style of an author and determine that that paragraph is not in the style of Josephus, but is in the style of a guy named Eusebius, who was the first person to mention it. Not only do we have that, but we also have certain phrases in there, like the phrase that gets translated in English to doer of good works. Josephus uses that phrase to mean poet, whereas Eusebius uses it to mean miracle worker. That's because this is written by Eusebius, not Josephus. The paragraph before it and after it go together because they're talking about bad things that Pilate did. So it actually flows perfectly. So well that in Wars of the Jews, which is the other book I referenced from Josephus that talks about the destruction of the temple, he talks about those bad things that Pilate did without interrupting the flow with this random story about Jesus. It includes lines in there that Josephus absolutely would not have said. Do you believe that Josephus was a Christian? Yes or no?
He was not a Christian. He was
Okay,
not a
well,
Christian.
that paragraph says he was the Christ. That is very clearly not something that a non-Christian would say. It is not something that a Jewish person who is living at the Roman emperor's compound and a practicing Jew would say. So, unfortunately, it is very obvious that this has been added by a later author, and that later author, the first person to ever mention it, despite the fact that multiple church fathers quote from that same book, the first person to mention it is Eusebius, writing over 200 years after the death of Josephus. Josephus did not write it. We can tell. Wars of the Jews seems perfectly fine and comes back as one author. He writes about the destruction of the temple in there. We're able to see that the style is consistent throughout. Josephus did write that. Josephus did not write the section in a different book about Jesus.
All right, so thank you for your time, though. I really appreciate your approach, but I do believe that Jesus
evidence-based
existed
approach.
in Paul.
Yes, my evidence-based approach. Using your approach of not using evidence, then I guess anything can happen. Jesus can exist, the sky can be purple, and lies can taste funny.
All right, but I respect your time. I respect your belief, your decision.
It's not my belief,
I'm not
it's
trying
just
to-
reality. I guess you just
all
kind of
right,
live
man.
in a state that's not really reality. I guess that's the point. You just kind of believe anything without any evidence? Is that what you do?
No. I can't believe anything without
Okay, cool.
evidence.
So you
Have
came
have
up
you been
here
in
with a full
Israel?
chest of confidence and you presented two things. You said Josephus and you mentioned Acts was written by Luke, and both of those things got dismissed right in front of your face. Do you have anything else?
Have you been in Israel? Have you been in a museum in Israel? Have you heard about the discovery of the Qumran cave?
Cool. I've been to New York. Does that mean that Spider-Man exists? Also,
No,
the
no, no,
Qumran
that's
cave
not.
has nothing to do with Josephus or the New Testament. Are you not aware that the Dead Sea Scrolls or the Qumran Scrolls don't have anything from the New Testament in them?
So actually, the Dead Sea Scroll, the all the 66 book of Isaiah is there are so many prophecy. Actually, some of the scholars call Isaiah the fifth gospel, even though there's debating in that.
Cool.
But the
Yeah.
point
Is the
is,
name
he
Jesus
spoke.
in
He
Isaiah?
spoke.
Is the name Jesus in Isaiah?
Yeah, have you heard? Have you read Isaiah 53?
Yes.
Who is
the
referring
name?
to?
Is the name?
Who's
It explicitly tells you in the chapters leading up to Isaiah 53 who the suffering servant is. Have you read Isaiah?
who is the referring servant in Isaiah 53?
It
I
tells
read the
you.
entire
It tells
Isaiah
you
many
about
times.
7 or 8 times, and I can actually show you each verse leading up to Isaiah 53 that the suffering servant is Jacob, the house of Israel. It tells you that.
Now,
Yep.
okay, now, can you show me
Yep.
with evidence
Yep.
that Isaiah 53 is talking about Jacob?
Yep.
All
right,
go
so
ahead
we're
and
going to look at the word servant. I will turn this on so you can watch me do it. We're going to look at the word servant. We're going to specifically choose Isaiah. And leading up to Isaiah 53, it tells you exactly who that servant is. Hold up. Got to make sure that it goes to Isaiah. There we go. There's 37 times the word servant is found. We're going to lead up there. It says servants of the king, servants, nothing there. Servant David there. I will defend this city. This is in Isaiah. Then we get to Deutero-Isaiah. It starts in about 41 or so. But you, Israel, my servant Jacob. This just says you are my servant, servant whom I have chosen. O Jacob, my servant. O Jacob, my servant. O Jacob and Israel, for you are my servant. I formed you. You are my servant. O Israel. Just the word servant. My servant Jacob. His servant Jacob. You are my servant Israel. This is in 49. His servant. My servant to raise up the tribes of Jacob. Let's see. His servant. My servant. My servant. This is in 53. So in 53, it literally talks about my servant, and it identifies that servant about 8 or 9 times prior to this, leading up to it, as Jacob, the house of Israel. In no way, shape, or form does this chapter ever change the identity of the servant. It never says that. It does use the word servant. And by the way, it's all past tense. It is talking about Israel going through Babylon in exile. It is talking about how Jacob the servant was despised and everything. It's talking about all this bad shit happening to Israel while they were in Babylonian captivity. A prophecy, mind you, is not something that talks about the past. It is something that says something in the future is going to happen. The only thing that it talks about in the future is good things, not bad things. So when they try to say, oh, Jesus was this person, or Jesus was his servant, not only does it identify the servant and never changes the identity, on top of that, it only talks in past tense for the bad things, because you're probably going to say, oh, Jesus was despised and rejected by others.
Exactly.
Well, no, because of the fact that he was very popular. He had 5,000 people listening to him in one particular story in the gospel. He had 3,000 in another. And in one case, they had to actually cut a hole in the roof just to get down to him because of the fact that there were so many people crowded around him. Another case has a woman touching the hem of his garment in order to be healed because he's, I guess, got a magic cloak on. And then whenever he says, who touched me? His disciple says, look how many people are around you. We all touched you. There is even a Roman centurion who travels from some distance in order to have him heal his sex slave. So we don't have any instances except for maybe the very end, maybe, where he is disliked. But nevertheless, he was not acquainted with infirmity. Infirmity is sickness, and it explicitly says that surely he has borne our infirmities and carried our diseases. Jesus is not disease-ridden. That is not a thing. On top of that, again, this is past tense. The only thing in here that is future tense is the good things, and this happens at the end. It says, therefore I will allot him a portion with the great, and he shall divide the spoil with the strong, because he poured, past tense, out himself to death. It is explicitly talking about how Israel is going to be returned to its former glory, they hope, after going through the Babylonian exile. Because, and this is true, and I want to remind you, Israel is explicitly named as the servant leading up to Isaiah 53. You, my friend, do not know jack shit about your own Bible, and you haven't read it. You just heard somebody else who, I guess, playfully referred to Isaiah as the fifth gospel, even though there's over 40 gospels that were written anyway, so the person you were listening to is a fucking moron. But the point is, Isaiah in no way, shape, or form is talking about Jesus.
Why
you haven't read
why
the
you
rest of it,
upset?
and I don't think that the person who told you it was the fifth gospel has even read it themselves.
Why you upset, man? Why you upset?
I'm not upset. I'm just showing you that you have no idea what you're talking about.
Why you start cursing and disrespecting me? I
Oh,
haven't
no,
used
that's
any
just
word.
because you're an idiot. But do you have anything else? I mean, you can pivot to whether or not you want to bitch and moan about me using curse words because that's a little too highbrow for you, I guess. But at the end of the day, I don't know what to tell you. You tried to say that you tried to say that Isaiah talks about Jesus, and you had me read you from your own Bible to show you that you haven't read it before.
Because you're fighting against your own.
I'm not
your
fighting
own
against
reading.
anything. It is explicitly saying that it's Israel.
You just read the Isaiah 53 and you start arguing to yourself because you contradict what you are trying to.
What did I contradict? Give me the exact example.
I'm just quiet and listening.
Give me the exact example.
You're the one.
Give me the exact example of when I contradicted myself.
You're the one that read Isaiah, and after you read Isaiah, and you start cursing me out. I didn't say anything.
So yeah, where in the text? Where in the text did I contradict myself?
You're fighting yourself.
Where did I contradict myself?
On your screen, it says rejected by men.
Cool.
And so many other verses.
Okay.
And you see that you won, and you start cursing me out.
Sweet.
It's not me, bro. It's Isaiah 53.
Sweet.
If you can delete
did it say he will? Did it say that he will be despised, or did it says he was in the past?
To be honest with you, bro, I'm gonna end there. I believe
I know
that's
it's because you got your ass kicked, and now you want to run. And you
I
tried to
believe
bring
you,
up the
man. I'm
idea
not
that I
running.
cussed. You tried to bring up the idea that I cussed at you to try to
I'm
use
not
that
running.
as an excuse to run.
I believe you're a smart guy, by the way.
Yeah, that's why I was
that
able to
you-
read and you're not able to read.
Yeah,
do you have
yeah,
any
of
other?
course.
Do you have any
I'm
verse that I contradicted myself on?
I'm driving. I believe that you
Sweet.
are.
When did I contradict myself?
I believe you're a child
When
of
did
God.
I contradict
believe that
myself?
You need to do more research. You need
I
to do
did
more research in order to find the
the
truth.
person who knows your book better than you needs to do more research. You didn't even know that it identified the servant as Israel. Did he mute himself? I think he muted himself.
I did. So my bad. I said that you are a child of God. You
Sweet.
are my brother, but you just lost.
Sweet. Where did I lose? What verse did I say? What did I say that was wrong? What did I say that was incorrect? Don't mute yourself. Don't hide.
Hey,
I don't know why I keep getting mute.
Stay quiet, positive. I'll keep you on the panel, but you got to wait your turn. All right, Jay, go ahead.
Yes. So
what did I say that was wrong?
Here, what happened here? It's funny though. What happened here, man?
It is funny.
You read Isaiah and you pick some verses and take them out of context.
Okay,
and
what
when
did
we
I take
get-
out of context? Is this past
Bro.
tense? Is this word past
Bro,
tense? Is this word past tense?
Look,
Is this word past tense?
It is past
okay,
tense.
sweet.
Is
So
the
what is
form-
okay? What is in future tense? Because that's what a prophecy is.
Yes,
He was wounded. Is that past tense?
Okay, let me tell you
Is
this.
this past tense?
Let me tell you this.
Is this
I'm gonna
past
leave you with.
tense?
Can I speak?
Is this
I'm gonna
past
leave you with
tense?
this.
Sweet. Is this
I'm
past
gonna-
tense? Yes or no?
God, that's not a debate, bro. You
But he
demanded
was
me-
wounded. Is that
you
past
dem-
tense?
You demanded me
Yeah.
to
Is
say
that
what
past
you want to
tense?
say.
No, I'm asking you a question. Is this a past tense phrase? But he was wounded. Is that past tense or future tense?
Of course, the sentence is written
Is that
in the
past tense or
but-
future tense?
Bro, can
Okay,
I
it's
say
written in the
something?
past tense. Okay, so whenever you read the past tense, do you think that that means something in the future? If somebody said, "I went to the store," does that mean I'm about to go to it? Is that what that means?
Look, I'm not trying
Is
to
that
be
what that means?
right. I'm not trying to be
Well,
right.
I know
so
you're
you
not
can
trying to be
wrong.
right because
That's-
it's pretty obvious
that's-
you're wrong. So when I showed you all
okay.
these instances where the suffering servant was identified as Israel,
bro.
does it
Bro.
ever say that he's going to be the Messiah or that the suffering servant is Jesus? Does it ever say that?
Bro, what I'm trying to
Does it
tell
ever
you, bro,
say that? Yes or no?
You are
Does
a
it
smart
ever
guy.
say that? Yes or no?
You are a smart guy,
Jay,
but you know you
Jay,
wrong. You know what
Jay,
you're doing is not
Jay.
correct. Yes, sir.
Did it say the servant was Jacob? Did it say that about 5 or 6 times?
That is the you said
that what
he
it
never
said?
said the he
Is
never
that what it
said the
said?
servant.
Is that what
He
it said?
never. Oh, you
Is
don't
that
want
what
me
it
to
said?
talk. You don't want me to. But you asked me a question. You
It's
don't
a
want me
yes or
to
no
answer.
question. Did it
You don't
say
want
that
me
Jacob was
to.
the servant? In the chapters leading up to Isaiah 53, did it tell you multiple times that Jacob was the servant?
Bro, you know what?
In the
I'm
chapters
lost.
leading up to Isaiah 53,
I
did it
I
tell you
lost the
multiple
argument,
times that Jacob
bro.
was the servant?
You smart. I lost the
Yes.
argument, bro.
Okay.
I'm gonna pray
That is
for you, bro. May
correct.
God
That
bless
is
you, man.
very
I
correct.
lost.
Yes.
Yes, you're right. I won. I'm wrong.
That is
You're right.
correct. Okay. Did you have
All right.
anything else? Anything else to say?
No,
Because,
no,
I mean,
I
you
don't
had
have anything else.
323 people on TikTok and currently
Yeah.
424 people on YouTube watched you get absolutely spit roasted in a Texas barbecue
Okay.
here.
Well, may God bless you, bro. I'm gonna pray for you, man.
Cool.
Maybe you're gonna come to light one day. God
Sounds
bless
good.
you.
And maybe you can learn how to read. Try praying about that.
He's mad.
No, I'm not mad. I just like for you to be able to don't turn off his microphone.
You mad at yourself, man.
I'm not mad,
After you
man.
read Isaiah,
I'm
you
not
see,
mad.
I exactly. I don't know. Maybe the spirit
I mean,
of
you
God led
already
me to
admitted
do
that
that.
you lost. I don't know why you keep talking.
Because I was not doing that on purpose. I don't know why I bring up
You
the
weren't doing
common
it on
cave and
purpose. You were doing
Paul.
it accidentally. You accidentally brought up Isaiah.
Maybe the spirit of God spoke to me and tell me
The
to
Spirit of
bring up
God told you to say something that was false, and then you ended up admitting that it was
No,
incorrect.
it's not false. It's after you read
Okay.
Isaiah and you start fighting yourself.
Did Isaiah
You start
say?
fighting
Did
yourself.
Isaiah say multiple times before Isaiah 53 that the suffering servant was Jesus, or did it say that it was Jacob? Was it Jacob or Jesus?
He
What was
never
it
said
identified
Jacob.
as? It never
I don't
said
know why
Jacob.
you say Jacob. He never said Jacob.
Okay, so when we take a look at Isaiah, leading up to Isaiah 53, I'd like for you to read this fucking word right here. Let's see. You Israel, here we go. The Lord has redeemed his servant. What's
That's
that
48.
word?
48. Isaiah 48. I was
Sweet.
53.
And what is this? What is that word?
Bro, I was
What's
talking
that
about
word?
Isaiah 53.
Sweet. I asked you, did Isaiah identify the servant as Jacob in the chapters leading up to 53? And you said, and I
Bro,
quote,
I
he
said,
didn't say
we're
Jacob.
talking about Isaiah 53.
Sweet.
Isaiah
Does he identify
53.
does he identify the servant in Isaiah 53 as
Bro,
explicitly
if you
Jesus?
go back. If you, I wish you recording. The first
it is
thing you
recording.
said when we started saying, the very first thing you said Isaiah 53 is talking about Jacob.
Yes.
And there's no word in Isaiah 53 that's talking about Jacob. You
Sweet.
make it up.
So who is the
You
servant?
make
Does
things up.
Isaiah tell you who the servant is?
Bro,
Leading up
that
to
was
53?
a prophecy about the suffering servant, which is Jesus.
Is a prophecy in past tense or future tense?
Oh man,
Is a prophecy in past tense or future tense, Jay?
Anyway, I'm moved by
Jay,
love.
is
I'm
a
moved by the
prophecy
love
in
of Christ.
past tense or future tense?
You know what I love you. I love
Yeah,
you because
sweet.
you're my brother.
Is a
God,
prophecy
my
in
God,
past tense or future tense?
I love you because my
Is a
God made
prophecy
you.
in past tense or future tense, Jay? Just answer the question.
You asked me that so many times. I answered that so
Sweet.
many
Well,
times.
go ahead and answer the fucking question for one time. Just one time, and I won't ask it
Well,
anymore.
you don't have to use profanity, man.
Is a
You don't
prophecy
have to
in
say
past
profanity.
tense or future tense?
You see the difference between you and me?
Yeah, I know how to read.
Honor you.
So
I honor
again,
you and I respect
no, you don't. You
but
don't. If you respected me, you would answer this question. Is a prophecy in past tense or future tense, Joe?
I call you my brother, and I said that I
don't
love
care.
you.
Is past?
But I'm sure.
Is a prophecy in
sure.
past tense or future tense?
But trust me, if you have the mean, you would unalive me if I was talking to you face to face. You know why?
Sweet.
Because
Okay,
the spirit in you is not came from God.
Jay.
Yes,
listen.
sir.
Is a prophecy in past tense or future tense?
It's in past tense. I said that many times.
A prophecy is in past tense?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's in
All
past
right.
tense.
So everybody who is watching, the 328 people there on TikTok and the 401 people on YouTube, you please
worry about the
understand
people.
that Jay themselves just said, and by the way, his actual username is JohnnyA027 if you ever see him. Make sure to remind him that a prophecy is actually future tense because he doesn't understand how to read, let alone how to think. Thank you very much for coming up, Jay, and I hope that you're able to tell your mom that I said hey. We're going to go ahead and move on to the next guest who has been waiting very patiently. This person is Bree, who I believe is going to be hanging out with my wife here soon. Believe it or not.
Yeah, I'm super excited about that.
I'm not. No, I'm kidding. No, it doesn't matter. Hopefully
No,
you guys
yeah.
have a good time.
I think we will. All I wanted to say was I'm going to say hi to your wife tomorrow. And everyone should go to Vice's birthday or to Vice's stream in a little bit and wish her a happy birthday because it's
Is
her
it
birthday
her birthday?
today.
It's her birthday?
It's her birthday today.
God damn it. I
yeah.
had her up here on my panel and I didn't get to. You know what? Here, I got to play the damn song. Here we go.
Hold on. Wait. I got her. Hold on. Pause. I'm going to bring her up because it's her birthday and she deserves it. Where the fuck is she? Vice comment. I don't want to scroll through 300 people. Hold on. I'm going to kill her. Where is she? There she is.
Can I unpause now?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So, Vice, welcome back up.
Hello,
welcome back up. I didn't know it was your birthday. All right,
yeah, it's her birthday today.
Yeah,
Happy fucking birthday, bitch.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Happy birthday there, Vice. Yes.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, thank you very
And
much.
shout out CBJ for getting my follower goal before today.
Oh, yay! Woohoo! But yes, thank you very much for coming up here and saying your kind words for me, even though we should have been saying kind words to you. If it means anything to you, I like your hat. Hopefully
Is it just my hair? Because I'm not wearing a hat.
Okay, well
I'm
then
wearing
I like your
glasses.
hair. I like your hair.
Appreciate you.
Let's see here. Weird. All right. So that being said, Bree, did you have anything else?
No, I just wanted to say hi to your wife and happy birthday, Vice. Okay, love you guys. Bye. Pull the lever, Kronk.
Well, I gotta get to the button. All right, there we go.
Pull the lever, Kronk.
Wrong lever.
Oh, that was a twofer. The floor just opened up and took them both. Over on Super Chat there, $4.99 there from Edge says the sky is more purple than blue. Human eye just sees as blue, and then it's just a laughing and pointing face. No. And also Aaron replied with a purple is a fake color. If anything, violet maybe? That would possibly be the hue. But we got Positive. Positive is up here on the panel. What you got here, Positive? What you got for us?
Hey man, thanks for the time. Sorry for jumping in. I was getting a bit eager. Yeah. So just to touch real quick, just to carry off that last one. So that when you reference like Isaiah 49 or something, when he says my servant Jacob, I believe he's talking about the tribe of the Jews, like Jacob, Israel.
Yes, Jacob is the
12
personification of Israel. Yeah, and Israel went through Babylonian exile, and so that's what it's talking about in Isaiah 53, which is why all the bad things are in past tense.
Right,
because it's saying that the servant went through all those bad things. Not the servant will go through all those things. It's saying that it went through all those things. So the servant, again, is Jacob.
And... Right. And was it not a mix of like future and past?
Yeah, the future is explicitly the good things that happen. I showed that to him, but for some reason he didn't understand it. It's there near the end. You'll actually see it. It says, therefore I will allot him a portion with the great, and he shall divide the spoil with the strong, because he poured, back to past tense, out himself to death, and was numbered, past tense, with the transgressors. In other words, because of the bad things that happened to the servant, Israel, Jacob, the personification of the house of Israel, or the Jewish people in Babylonian captivity, in the future, good things are going to happen because bad things already happened. So that's the point. This in no way, shape, or form is a prophecy for the future, for suffering or anything like that. And the servant, again, is identified numerous times leading up to 53, explicitly as Jacob, the personification of the house of Israel. And in no way, shape, or form does Isaiah 53 say that the servant is suddenly somebody else.
Right. So I would say like, Isaiah 52:13, for example, is like, behold, my servant shall prosper. He shall be exalted and lifted
Yeah,
up. He
that's
shall be very high, right?
dude. That's the same
So that's
fucking
like
shit that I
future,
was just reading you.
right?
Because at the end of Isaiah 53, it says the good things are going to happen, the bad things happened. The
No,
reason why Isaiah
yeah, this
53 is
53
considered to
though,
be about,
right?
yeah, it
And
doesn't
then it
matter
switches to
because
past.
listen, listen. All the good things are in the future for Israel. All the bad things are in the past. That's all that the story is about. It's just the fact that people say, oh, hey, Jesus goes through some things that sort of kind of we can just retrofit to say that this occurred to him, all these bad things, despite the fact that it's very clearly talking about Isaiah. Isaiah is very clearly talking about Israel, said it was talking about Israel, and on top of that, it's in the past tense. It doesn't make a lot of sense, but Christians link that because they see the bad things that Jesus supposedly went through, and they say, look at this. It's like a foreshadowing, if you will, or a prophecy of Jesus there in Isaiah. That's all that they do. Now, I get that you could say, oh, hey, maybe this here, like it says, like, therefore I will allot him a portion with the great and he shall divide the spoil. Maybe this, because this a future tense, you could say, oh, maybe this is a prophecy for Jesus. But nevertheless, it explicitly says because he poured himself out. So it's calling back and it says that this is still over. It's talking about how this is still the same person who poured out himself to death, like in the past, like the servant who had identified as Israel. So even the future tense parts of these chapters are not for Jesus. They're not a prophecy for Jesus. They're a prophecy for Israel. That's the point.
I would disagree because Jesus is part of Israel. He's
okay.
One of the
That
Jewish
doesn't mean
people,
anything.
right?
You could also say, okay, so this is a prophecy for Ben Shapiro too.
No.
Is this a prophecy for Ben Shapiro?
Me, right?
Is this a prophecy for Ben?
No,
is this a
because
prophecy for
Ben
Jerry
Shapiro-
Seinfeld? That's the fucking
because
stupidest
they weren't
argument I've ever
pierced in
heard.
their hands and their feet.
No, listen.
They weren't pierced
This
in
doesn't
their
say
hands
this
and
doesn't
their
say
feet.
pierced on the hands and feet. Where does it say that?
Yes, Isaiah
Where does it say that?
53 something. I'm looking for it. It's 53 something. And he'll be pierced in his hands and his feet for our transgression.
Where does it say that?
I'm looking. It was just here.
The word feet isn't in this, you dumb piece of shit. Like where is it? Like Jesus
Hey,
Christ,
man.
man, you're just making shit up at this point. Like this is embarrassing.
Hey, no, it isn't.
No, it's
Isaiah
straight up
1:7.
embarrassing. Like you came up here, you tried to argue for the guest that's already been removed and admitted that they were wrong, and that's fine, I guess. And I responded to it,
didn't.
but
He
you trying
humbly stepped away.
dig your heels in and say this is
53.5.
explicitly about this. No, dude, no.
So
Does this say anything
53.5.
about piercing hands and feet?
53.5.
Does it say anything
Right,
about
but if you switch the translation,
switch the translation to what?
So
Where does it say he's
maybe
pierced
you
in
can
his
try to
hands and
catch it one
feet?
out. So see how it says wounded? See how it says wounded?
Yeah, it's almost
Other
like
translations-
whenever you
say
go
hands
into
and feet.
exile, whenever you're forced into exile by a government, you've probably been wounded. It is the whole thing is talking about how Jacob, the personification
Yeah,
of the house of Israel, has been wounded. That's the point.
Okay, but other interpretations.
No, well, I don't
see
care
as
about other
hands and feet.
interpretations because
And
it's
if
still
you-
past tense.
And if you look at Psalm 22, if you
Sweet.
look at
Okay, is Psalm 22
which
part
was
of
also-
Isaiah? Is Psalm
It
22
was
part of
also
Isaiah?
long before Jesus came about.
Is
It was
Psalm
also
22
long
part of
before Jesus
Isaiah?
come about. Okay, look.
Is
I'll
that
drop
part
this 'cause
of
this was
Isaiah?
just to prove the prophecy.
Is that part of
This was just
Isaiah?
to prove the prophecy.
Okay.
It's
If you
another
want to move to
prophecy
Psalm,
saying hands and feet.
if you want to move to Psalm, then you need to go ahead and admit that Isaiah doesn't talk about Jesus, and I promise you, we will move to Psalm. We'll move to that
Okay,
particular
but
Psalm,
I
but
promise
I
you-
need to hear you say Isaiah does not talk about Jesus, and then we will move to Psalms. I promise.
Can I show you an Isaiah translation that says hands and feet?
You think it says pierced in the hands and feet in Isaiah 53?
Yes. Another translation.
What translation says that? I'll pull it up.
Thank you.
What translation?
Wait.
Oh, you don't know?
We can try. Oh, it says
No,
pierced. It says
find it.
pierced.
Find it. Pierced in the hands and feet?
No hands and feet. Pierced. You got me there.
Cool. Sweet.
Isaiah,
Any other examples of you being a
Isaiah
dumbass, or
49
would you
says
like to
it.
go ahead
Yeah.
and say, "Hey, Isaiah doesn't talk about Jesus," so that we can move to your other stupid point? What do you want to do?
Okay. Look.
Well, what do you want to do? I'm giving you an
I
option.
spoke too soon. I
Yeah, you
wasn't
did.
prepared.
Well, what you
I
did,
did.
it's not necessarily that you spoke too soon. What you
It
did
still
is
says
you decided
pierced.
to just spread your cheeks and you reached elbow deep into the chocolate starfish and you pulled out your opinion. And all 600 people who saw that are now disgusted at the fact that you even tried to make that argument. And you should be disgusted with yourself.
No, but it does say pierced though.
It
says
doesn't.
he was pierced for our transgression.
Sweet.
Look at the NIV. Look
I
at
don't
the
really
NIV
care.
or
Is
the
that past
ESV.
tense or does it say he
It
will
says
be pierced? Does it say he
It
will be
says
pierced or he was pierced?
Okay, if you're writing
Does
a
it say
book,
he will
if
be
you're
pierced
writing,
or was
let me
pierced?
give you an example of past and present. Say
This
I write a book.
is this an example of past or present? Or is it the
No.
example for future?
No, say you're writing a book.
Sweet.
So
Go ahead and answer the
Sarah
question.
was going to go to John's
Answer
house.
the question.
When she went to John's house, she ate. You understand how that went from future to past? You know what I'm saying?
This
Does
is
that
all
make
past.
sense?
That none of what you
Sarah-
said was future, dipshit. That was
Sa-
all
Sarah is
past.
going-
Sarah was going to go to Paul's house,
true.
and when she went, she ate. All of that was
Yeah, so-
past tense.
So if you say Sarah
You
is
dumb
going
malacca.
to John's house, Sarah is going to John's house. When she goes there, she's going to eat. Blah blah blah.
That's just
Yeah,
present and
I'm keen
future.
for
None
that.
of that was past.
Hmm.
Man, it's
Like-
almost like you just defeated
and
your
future,
own
yeah.
argument.
Yeah, look, I'm thinking on
It's
the spot
almost
here.
like talking in the past
I ain't
doesn't
trying to
have
make
anything to do with the
excuses.
future, does
I'm
it?
thinking on the spot here.
Yeah, you're doing a really bad job of it. It's almost like when you talk about the past, you're not talking about the future. You can't be because it's in the past. That's how that fucking works, dude. Do I have to explain time
But
to
they
you?
done it in the Bible, right? They spoke.
Yeah,
the
it's
future
almost
and
as
then went
if
straight into the
Christians
past.
take things that are in the past and they try to say, oh, this past tense thing is about this thing that comes later because they're morons. And you, my friend,
Behold my
acquaintance,
right here in the
you
Bible.
have been
it goes
duped
from
by
future
it.
to past.
Sweet. So
Look,
I want you
behold, my
to explain to
servant
me.
shall
So answer my
prosper.
answer my question that I had earlier before we
Okay,
move on to
okay.
somebody who's got an IQ over room temperature. Listen. I want you to answer this question.
It's
When it
bedtime,
says
yeah.
he was pierced, even if you want to change the
Okay.
translation to the one that has the word pierced in it, when it says he was pierced, is that future or past?
That's past. To
Okay.
speak about
Well,
what
thank
he
you
has
very
done
much,
for us,
Positive. Thanks for coming up. A prophecy is for the future. Please
Hey,
learn
I
how
didn't
to
even
read.
get to prove Paul. I didn't.
Yeah. You don't even have to worry about Paul.
How to undo it.
All right. Caliber's pack, Mom.
That's me. If you can hear me, can you hear me?
Yeah.
I have no idea how I hit the button, so didn't intend to. I
Oh,
love
no.
how you're doing it. Sorry, go ahead and disconnect.
Okay. Well, that was Caliber's pack, Mom, everybody. That was Caliber's pack. Let's see. We got Walk on Water Jesus Christ. All one word.
Yeah.
All right.
What's up, John?
Now, what you got?
What do I got?
Yeah, what you got?
Well, I technically can't prove that anyone existed from antiquity, but
Well, give us the best evidence you have for Jesus and Paul. And or Paul.
well, the evidence is overwhelming
Okay, well, give us anything then.
for antiquity standards. Well, I mean, the best evidence is the letters.
What letters?
The 6 or 7 letters.
If there's 6 or 7 that say that they're written by Paul, and you believe that those are written by Paul, then that
Well, who's
means
Paul?
that there's
You said Paul
another
doesn't
6 or
exist.
7. There's another 6 or 7 that say that they're written by Paul, who you don't think wrote them.
I'll give you
How
that.
did that happen?
Well, I'll give you that, but you just said Paul wrote 6 or 7, but Paul's not
I
supposed to
did not
exist.
say that.
You just did.
No, I'm using
You're
your
giving us
argument. I just
theoretical,
explained your argument. I said you believe that there are 6 or 7 letters from Paul that
You
say.
believe that.
I do not believe that.
What do you believe about the 6 or 7 letters?
I believe that all of those letters, all the 6 or 7,
written by one
specifically
person?
would have shown up in 144 by Marcion. In
They
the
were written
earliest
in
iteration of them.
144 by
They were published in
single author?
144 by Marcion. Published in 144.
They're published.
Yes.
What does that mean? So there was the the
Do you
content
not
existed
know the difference
beforehand,
between
or
writing and publishing or something? Or what are you talking about? What does what mean?
so like it was being written a couple years before and was officially published in 144 is what you're saying?
Yep. Published in
Okay.
144, we have the New Testament canon, the first canon that's ever called the New Testament, published by Marcion and his students, the Marcionites. All right. Of that particular that particular canon, we have in that particular canon, we have Evangelion or Evangelion, his gospel, and that means gospel in Greek there. Then you have 9 or 10 books written in the style of letters attributed to a man named Paul. These are the earliest iterations of these letters, and they do not include the pastorals, which would take 1 Timothy, 2 Timothy, and Titus, add to the collection, and make it 13. When you said that there are, quote, 6 or 7 authentic letters of Paul, what you were referring to is scholars saying, oh, hey, we find connections at the book level between these 6 or 7 books, while the others, like, say, 2 Thessalonians and like the pastorals and everything like that, while they say that they're from Paul, they are not from Paul. So even by that logic, that means that there can absolutely be a text that says it's from Paul and not be from Paul. And and technically at best, all that means is that one particular author was involved with 6 or 7 books. Now that's technically speaking at the book level, so I'd still technically disagree with that.
So,
but
so
it doesn't
that's what
matter.
you agree with that. A single author, you just think the single author was actually Marcion.
No,
And
I
the
never said that,
140s.
and I literally just said that I would technically disagree with that. But please continue on about how I agree upon.
I'm trying to follow you. I am.
Okay.
My
Sweet.
IQ is lower than room temperature, so you got to work with me here.
All right.
So you don't agree that a single author wrote the letters that the majority of scholars would agree were written by a single person?
Correct. Absolutely.
And what's your basis for that?
Considering the fact that the earliest iterations of these letters do not have sections in these authentic letters that we have in the canonical version, that shows that very clearly there's multiple authors anyways. Tertullian himself in 200 says that he has his own edits of Paul's letters. So I don't know what to tell you.
Tertullian said that Marcion edited Paul's letters.
Cool.
Why do you frame it? Like, why do you frame everything like as
do you have
extremely
any
as
do you
possible?
have any evidence of Paul's letters before Marcion?
Yes, but you
Okay,
date them all
what
to
evidence do
post
you have?
144 AD to get rid of them.
Yeah, that's kind of how that fucking works. If you don't have any evidence that it's
I know.
prior to 144, then I'm not going to use any kind of just hypothetical and say that something is before 144. I'm not a Christian. I don't use just hypotheticals and wishful thinking.
But there are many, many, many secular scholars, the
Oh, I don't give a
overwhelming
shit. What
majority,
the kind
who
of evidence
disagree
do they
with you.
point to? I don't give a
The
shit if
same
somebody
evidence that you
disagrees with me. I want
try
the
to
evidence.
use.
Yeah. Well, what evidence do they have that anything
Stylometry?
is prior? There's no stylometry that shows that any of Paul's letters were mentioned prior to 144. That doesn't make any sense.
It shows
In
that
fact,
they
I would
were
like for you to
written
go
by the
ahead
same
and
author.
explain what you mean by stylometry. How does stylometry show that Paul was prior to 144? Please explain. Be
That's
very
not what I was
detailed.
trying to claim.
You said that they used stylometry to show that Paul's letters were prior to 144. Explain.
No, that's impossible.
Okay. Well, I don't know why you said it
Stylometry
then.
doesn't.
So you just kind of randomly said the word stylometry? Is that
No,
what you
because
did?
I'm trying to establish the fact that these
Sweet. So
letters
why
were
did you
written
say
by a
the word
single person.
stylometry?
To establish that these
Why did you
7
use
letters
the
were
word
written by the same
stylometry?
person.
Okay. So how does that get that one person prior to 144? That's what we were just talking about. I already granted you that scholars think that it's from one author. How did you listen? I granted you that scholars believe that they come from one particular author. How did you determine that that comes prior to 144? How'd you determine that?
So
how do they determine that?
Clement, Polycarp,
who?
Ignatius, Clement, Polycarp.
Sweet. And how did they date Clement and Polycarp prior to 144?
How did they date those prior to 144?
Yeah.
It's a good question that I don't have all the answers to.
I am aware. That's why you brought it up. Because if you had the answer, you wouldn't have fucking said it.
Yeah, I mean, for the most part, I
just kind of regurgitate what you hear. Yeah, we're all aware.
All right, John, you can stop. Like,
do you have anything else?
You can stop being like that.
Go ahead and present your evidence. We're waiting.
Yeah, so you can also internally use those
Okay.
letters to date them
Sweet.
pre-144.
All right. I want you to give me any instance within the Pauline letters that dates them prior to 144.
I mean, just the way they're all written. Like, I mean, they're written as
The
male.
way? You said internal evidence. What way?
Because they're written by a person who is corresponding with real cities, mentioning
Are these
rulers,
cities not?
mentioning
Are these
cities.
cities? First of all, you said cities. We'll go to rulers in just a second. For cities, are these cities not there post 144? Did Ephesus just disappear? Is that what happened? Did Corinth?
No, man.
I bet you mean Rome. Rome wasn't there after 144, right?
A good one, good one.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. You see how
do
dumb
I
that
say
argument
this?
was? Now let's talk about rulers. What rulers were mentioned in the Pauline letters that dates it to the 1st century or before 144?
King Aretas is one.
Okay, King Aretas. All right, sweet.
Aretas.
So King Aretas, what does he say that King Aretas does? Or what does he do? What does he do? Please enlighten us as to what AI just told you.
I'm not looking it up on AI right now.
Okay, you're just doing this off the dome, so it's even going to be worse? What does King Aretas do?
He tries to arrest Paul.
While he's in where?
Damascus.
Yeah. So King Aretas IV, who was in the 1st century CE, never had control over Damascus. That's King Aretas III. King Aretas III dies in the middle of the 1st century BCE. If you want me to grant you that Paul is writing in the 1st century BCE, I can. Would you like for me to do that? That sounds really stupid, doesn't it? You literally fell into the one trap that I knew you would fall into, because that's the only way that we can date any kind of ruler to any time. There in the Pauline epistles, they do a horrible job at casting Paul back into time by saying that King Aretas gave him trouble while he was in Damascus, but King Aretas III is the only King Aretas that had control over Damascus, and he dies halfway through 1st century BCE. Is that when Paul was writing? Is that what you believe?
No, obviously not.
Yeah. Well, that's weird. So, have you done any research on this before just spouting these things off?
A little bit.
Okay, so you would see that King Aretas IV never had control over Damascus.
Well, I didn't do that much research, I guess.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's why you brought up that as evidence. Okay. Well, it sounds like either we're going to have to go with the earliest iterations that we know of, which is in 144, and you don't have any evidence that it was written before, or I'll grant you that it was written before, but it was in the middle of the 1st century BCE. Which one would you like to do? I'll give you the option. Which one is it? Is Paul writing in the middle of the 1st century BCE, as you said? Obviously not. Or is it the case that we don't have any evidence that he was writing anything prior to 144?
Let me look at this Aretas the Fourth up thing real quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
So why do you think like the why do you think the scholarship or the general scholarship is so off?
Because the majority of religious scholars have skin in the game and are religious themselves. There are going to be
what about
non-religious
secular?
scholars as well who will generally side with them so that they can actually work alongside them, so that they can debate them, so that they can be taken seriously by them. It is a compromise. There is a compromise that is made between the more conservative religious scholars and the less conservative or more liberal religious scholars / the non-religious scholars. These scholars are absolutely going to be giving ranges of different dates and whatnot. But as data science shows and as more recent scholarship shows, the letters of Paul and even the New Testament keeps getting pushed further and further later into the 2nd century. We do not have any, and I repeat, any evidence that Paul's letters existed in any form prior to 144. Polycarp is said by even Christian church fathers to have died either in 155 to 167. So no, he's not writing prior to 144. On top of that, we have Ignatius, who now M. David Litva, a Christian scholar, places the letters about 165 to 170 because of internal information. You then have Papias, who also dies about 167 or so. He says to have died alongside Polycarp or Carpos. This is in 167. We also have Clement. It never says anything about Clement in First Clement. And on top of that, it doesn't get mentioned until 180 by Hegesippus or Irenaeus. It doesn't make a lot of sense why they would keep a letter for about 85 to 90 years before somebody fucking mentions it. I'd also like to point out that the Muratorian Canon, which comes out in the late 2nd century, says that the brother of Pope Pius, who served in the middle of the 2nd century, wrote the book The Shepherd of Hermas. The Shepherd of Hermas author says that he tasked Clement with delivering a letter for him. So if Clement is real, and Clement did write First Clement, sounds like Clement was in the middle of the 2nd century, alongside the brother of Pope Pius. So no, man, there's no evidence whatsoever that Paul ever, at all, wrote anything prior to 144. Even if I grant you that Paul was a real person, which doesn't make a lot of sense because Paulos is not a first fucking name, it's a diminutive, and that's why they gave him a real name in the book of Acts, which was also written in the 2nd century, and we can tell because it comes from the same author who took Evangeline and made the Gospel of Luke, and because they took Evangeline, it has to come out post 144. There's a massive, massive amount of evidence that the New Testament is written in the 2nd century, not the 1st. Everyone who claims it's from the 1st century is either using wishful thinking because they're religious or they're compromising with people who do. So I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you. You're not going to find any evidence that Paul existed or wrote prior to 144 unless you want to jump all the way to the middle of the 1st century BCE. So the ball is back in your court. What did you find? What do you have?
Interesting, bro. You are impressive. I'll give you that, Jaron. Well, I looked it up, and it says yes, Aratus IV briefly held control over Damascus between roughly
What did you
37
find?
and his death in 40.
No. What on earth is that referring to?
I don't know. I just Googled, did Aratus IV
Is that
rule
just
over
like some kind of
Damascus?
weird AI thing that you just read?
It's the Google AI overview.
Yeah. Ask it who had control over Damascus, Aretas III or Aretas IV. It'll end up correcting that.
Okay. It's the first link here. Well, I'll ask it that and we'll see what it says. Both Aratus III and Aratus IV ruled over Damascus at different points in history.
Based off of what? The Bible. It's going to base it off of 2 Corinthians.
Yeah, I think it is just
there it is.
quoting,
Yeah,
the
that's how that
Bible.
works. All right. Anyways, anything else?
So, yeah, I guess one more thing. So if Marcion wrote all of the Pauline epistles,
I would say that the Pauline epistles come from his students. He is writing them,
Marcion's students.
Marcion's students are writing them. If you want a scholarly take on this, I would suggest taking a look at Dr. Nina Livesey's book, The Letters of Paul in Their Roman Literary Context, which came out in December of 2024, where she argues that this is like a practice in teaching or a practice in learning how to write, that kind of thing. This was a very common trope at the time, was to write a letter as a fake person or to a fake person that is meant, or letters that are meant to be read as a collection, a la Seneca's writings in the middle of the 1st century. He writes 127 moral epistles to a fake person. They are meant to be read as a collection. Likewise, no one says they only have one letter of Paul. They always say they have a collection because that's the point. It doesn't really make a lot of sense that somehow people have like all these letters of Paul. Like, what are you talking about? They're letters that are supposedly go to these individual places. How do you have multiple? What, did you just go around and collect them like fucking Pokemon? That doesn't make any sense.
Well, under the, like.
And how do we not have any mail back to him?
Well, he mentions in the letters that like, hey, I'm responding to what you wrote me.
Okay. Do we
Things
have
like
any of
that.
those copies?
No, we don't.
Yeah. So someone went around and was able to like find all these letters about this kind of stuff, but they weren't able to find anything that was written to this guy. That's weird. They weren't able to ask
No,
Luke.
no.
Luke supposedly went around with him and traveled with him and stuff like that and was able to write all these other texts. They didn't ask him. They didn't ask if he had anything. That's weird. All these people just saying, oh, hey, we've got all these different letters and whatnot. But
And I mean, under the Christian paradigm, he would have originally wrote them to one specific city, and that city's community would have saved the letters.
That's a good point.
and
Yeah, he
preserved
wrote
them and
Romans, which is
spread
this
them.
massive text to Rome before he headed off to Rome. He would have beat the mail there.
Okay. Anyways, the thing about the
And they're huge. They're not
the-
even the size of letters. Here's a letter. Let me show you an example of a letter. I'm going to just flip to a random page here and look. These are multiple letters. Multiple letters.
yeah, letters are typically shorter. for
Yeah.
sure.
No.
That's
Romans is
it's
the
an
size of
interesting-
that's like writing a college textbook to your mom. And then at the end of it saying, "All right, I'm coming home." You're going to go home and be able to tell her all this stuff. Why would you do that? You're going to beat the mail there.
Okay, that's interesting. I mean, I was trying to say that the book about it being like a common literary style to write a bunch of like letters.
Like Livesey's book?
What book was that? Yeah.
The Letters of Paul in Their Roman Literary Context by Nina Livesey. You might also find it interesting to read Dr. Patricia Rosenmeyer's book, Epistolatory Fiction, Greek and Roman Epistolatory Fiction.
Greek and Roman
Epistolatory Fiction.
Yeah, that's interesting because the first point I was trying to make, I mean, like you like picked apart what I said like instantly, but I was trying to just like refer to the fact how they are, in like first person letter style, and that's why. What are you like?
Yeah, so were
something-
Senecas. They're to a fake person. Like it's just it's a fake letter.
I see you're saying
it's a
it's a
genre.
fake person. I'm just trying to say that my original point was that they are, first person mail style, like personal correspondence mail.
Yeah. So were
And
the
that's
letters of
why-
Seneca.
Okay, yeah. I mean, my original point was supposed to be that the 7 letters were written by the same person, who was a guy named Paul, who was teaching, communities how to be Christians, basically.
Yeah, so that's what you would need to do. In the Marcionite New Testament canon, the first New Testament canon, here's the gospel, here's how to be a Christian, here's how to apply it. It's the whole story. It's the whole point of the book. Here you go. Here's the story that this person got from Revelation and divine revelation, and here's how to apply it. And in the letters, these letters that say how to apply it, he says, I got it through divine revelation. Paul is probably just a placeholder itself for Marcion. Marcion is probably just Paul. And so when they're talking about this Paul character, they're really got in mind Marcion. So when it says that Paul received the gospel through revelation, they're really just talking about how Marcion received the gospel through revelation, which is why this gospel just fucking showed up. Paul just means the small one, and Marcion means little Mark. Go ahead.
If Marcion was the real Paul, then why would he constantly refer to the Old Testament and Abraham?
What about it?
And why would he call the law holy and
Romans?
Romans?
Oh, no, you're just reading the canonical versions. That's the problem. The canonical versions are Marcion's iterations with added parts to it. In those parts, it's added to by the these parts are added to the text by like proto-Catholics who view Jesus as a descendant of Yahweh. Marcion did not view Jesus as a descendant of Yahweh. He's like the anti-Yahweh, if you will.
Yeah, I'm aware of that.
So in those iterations, it doesn't say that the law of Yahweh is good. It doesn't say that. So you're going to have to familiarize yourself with the iterations from Marcion. I would suggest
How,
taking
so
a
how
look
do,
at either
where
M.
are
David
those?
Litva's book or take a look at the reconstructions there from Jason Badoon, his book, The First New Testament.
David Litwa. What's David? What are those books?
So you can check
David
out M.
Litwa,
David Litva's
Marcion, the
book,
Gospel.
Marcion's Bible. That's a more recent
Marcion's Bible.
reconstruction. Or you can check out what I would recommend is Jason Badoon's book. It's called The First New Testament. And these are scholarly reconstructions of what Marcion had. Now, we can't know exactly what it had in it. Like the certain terms sometimes would kind of mess up, but at least Badoon will tell you what parts are attested to and by who it's attested to.
Okay. Very interesting.
Yeah. So again, Marcion is the first person to publish anything either over Jesus or Paul in 144. There's no mention of them prior. The Christians they exist prior. Marcion is part of this, but this is a mythology that he just gets. If Paul is just simply, and this is what I believe, if Paul is just simply a stand-in for Marcion, if you will, then Paul saying, I got this through divine revelation, explains exactly why this gospel just suddenly appears, and we've got Paul doing all these things. That's all that it is. He's just writing as a fictional person. People like this fictional person. The later Christians decide we're going to lose this other God from Marcion's theology. We're going to make Jesus and Yahweh directly connected, and then we're going to write gospels that refute Marcion's gospel. Matthew has Jesus saying, I did not come to abolish the law, I came to fulfill the law. And it makes him a descendant or it tries to give a genealogy of him from David, and it tries to establish him as a human being. Same thing goes with Luke. Luke comes around and has to fix some of the issues that Matthew had in his genealogy, but nevertheless, it still presents it that way. That's all that this shit is. It's just refutations, like the New Testament as we have it today is mostly refutation to what Marcion believed. There's still going to be a Marcionite core in some of it because it's still from him. It's still his IP, but it's like a fan fiction version of Marcion's story. That's the problem. So that's why you're going to see every once in a while some contradictions. That's why people say, ooh, Jesus and Paul, they don't agree all the time. Yeah, that's because every once in a while, Jesus is going to say some stuff in the Gospels written by proto-Catholics that, yeah, the law is great. And every once in a while, Paul is going to say, yeah, we don't have to follow the law. Yeah, that's because you're getting two different takes, and it's just kind of all thrown in together sometimes, and because they didn't do that great of a job of editing. But that's just how it works. And we're able to see these iterations, we're able to see these separations using stellometry, and we're able to see these separations just through history and the mentioning of Marcion coming first and the reconstructions of what it has. We're able to see how this shit came to be. The evolution of the text, the characters, the stories, everything.
Yeah, so through stylometry, you see that at least the seven agreed upon letters are just basically like ongoing added to texts.
Yeah, so the reason why they say 7 letters is because they take a look at the entire books and they go, hey, this entire book of like Romans matches Galatians, but it doesn't match First Timothy. Cool.
Yeah.
But if you were to take a look at it and chop it into pieces, you would see that the reason why Galatians and Romans are connected is because there seems to be one author who worked in Revelation and in Galatians, but not for all of it, just a little bit of it. But the problem is they also say, oh, First Thessalonians is good too. That's an authentic letter. Unfortunately, the person who worked in Romans and Galatians that is connected did not write in First Thessalonians. But there was somebody who wrote in Galatians that also worked in First Thessalonians. So it's picking up on multiple authors. It's multiple people working on different things. And when you take a look at it and treat it like it's one author by analyzing it at the book level, you're going to pick up on multiple styles, and it's going to trick the analysis into thinking that that's a person's style, even though it's like 5 or 6 people. And so it's able to connect it all together. That's the problem. It's going to pull all the writings from different people are going to be pulled together stylometrically if you use corrupted data. If there's 3 authors in Romans, then whatever those 3 authors also worked on are going to be connected. Now, we know for sure that it's not the pastoral epistles, because the pastoral epistles, they show up way later, and they're even later than Marcion, obviously. I mean, hell, Second Timothy mentions Crescens and Polycarp. Crescens was Polycarp's scribe, who dies in 180. So it's pretty clear that those are really late. Like, New Testament, 2nd century, man. This is just mythology. It shows up in 144. There's no way around it. Like, I've been doing this for way too long to
No, I could tell you're good, bro. You're good. You got motion on TikTok and YouTube too.
Well, it's not. It's just about that. The problem is the fact that, like, I do this for like 5 hours a day, 4 or 5 hours a day, every weekday for the last 2.5 years. If I was demonstrably wrong, it would be really easy to come up and say, here's where you're wrong. Here's why. There it is. And just be done.
Yeah. No,
I've
I
talked
could
to
tell you've
people
been
with
doing it
PhDs. I've
for a
talked to
long
people
time.
who have never graced the halls of a high school. I've talked to people
Yeah,
from
bro, I
different
dropped out of
countries,
middle
all kinds of
school.
things. So go ahead.
I, yeah, bro, I could tell you do this all the time. You're good. You're good. You're good. You got a lot of knowledge.
But it's not about me. It's about the fact that this is just a position that ultimately, if I'm being honest, my co-author and I are baffled that people even hold this, that a scholar can actually look at this and take it seriously. But then when you realize that, like, analyzing texts from antiquity, generally speaking, has a completely different, like, subgroup of, like, study or group of study or field of study than the Bible, that's where things get different. If real analytics were done on the text, like actual textual criticism and everything like that, then we would treat the Bible like we would all the classics. We would treat it like the Odyssey, like the Bacchae, like the Iliad. But we fucking don't, because there's an active religion, a massive active religion, multiple active religions that rely upon these texts. And so as a result, we put them over on the side and we say, oh, hey, let's treat these special. Let's give them special privilege that we wouldn't give to these other texts that we analyze and try to scrutinize and find if it even lines up with history. And we consider those mythology, but these others, no, we're not going to do that. We're going to consider this ecclesiastical history, or try to find any connection we can and say that it's somehow real to some degree. No, there's no evidence of this, and it falls apart really quickly. Eventually, if all goes the way that it should, based on logic and evidence, we will consider the Bible, as well as the Quran and the Book of Mormon, to be mythology. It's just mythology that was, unfortunately, brought all the way into the 21st century.
Yeah, no, I mean the Quran and the Book of Mormon are like a whole different thing. I mean, I feel like those are a lot more obvious. I thought it was going to be a lot easier to come on. Like, seems like there's no way like you can be against all the scholars and be right, you know? So I thought it'd be easy to come up and like refute you.
The problem with scholarship, ultimately, is that not only does it compromise a lot, like, for instance, they say, ooh, Mark was written around 70. There's no evidence of it in 70. The first time the Gospels are even alluded to is in 150. Like, fucking no, not at all. The reason they put it around 70 is because it mentions the destruction of the temple. Cool. It doesn't say it's currently happening. So I don't know why they put it there. You and I can write a story about the Civil War, right? Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, doesn't mean we're writing in 1860s. It's stupid. So the point is, they compromise. One group says we want it super early, and the other group says it doesn't need to be that early. So they just kind of compromise and just kind of put it right there on the edge, about the middle. The first time it's mentioned is in 150, but these people want it to be written in like fucking 40, so we're just going to compromise and put it in 70 because it mentions something in 70. There you go. That's the earliest we're going to put it. We're not going to grant you the power of prophecy, but we're also not going to put it super late. So they just
I mean,
put 70.
surely they can't be that like.
That's exactly
that
what it
bad.
is. I'm not shitting you. Literally, all of Mark is dated on one thing, and it's Mark 13 talking about the destruction of the temple. That's it. Every once in a while, you might get some people say, "Oh, well, the epistles and the church and the Gospels, they're dated because it mentions a hierarchy or something like that, or it mentions like Christology, or it mentions like a theology that would be the theology of the Christians at the time." Okay, quick question: how did you determine what the theology of the time was? Oh, because of the Gospels and the epistles. I am not shitting you. People think that the Christians believe X, Y, and Z at this point in time because the Gospels say they do, or the epistles say they do, and we can date the epistles there because they believe X, Y, and Z. What?
I mean, I dropped out of middle school, and I can see that that's circular reasoning. So how can like these credentialed scholars not know that?
It's just that there's not really much of a and on top of that, they base whenever you read something scholarly, they are just about every fucking sentence. Like if you take a look at Dr. Nina Livesey's book there on Paul, what she does is she like sometimes half the page, sometimes most of the page is citations. All right, that's what you need in a scholarly work, like a ton of citations to back up just about everything, even things that like most people would be like, duh. Like a scholar's going to be like, okay, where are you getting? Okay, cool. And that's fine. I mean, I get that. I get why they're wanting to do it. They're wanting to make sure that they back up with everything that they say. I get it. But the problem is, if the people you are quoting from also got it wrong, then you're just kind of barely moving the needle in one direction, which is why she says that the Pauline epistles show up in the 2nd century. But at the time that she came out with her book, she believed that Paul was still a real person to some degree. After talking with Matthew and I, and then after a couple months of her book being out, she actually told live on a, well, I guess recorded video there on YouTube on History Valley, the host asked her, "Do you believe it's possible that Paul didn't exist?" And she said yes. She had initially, in a call with us prior to that meeting and everything like that, in a call with me and my co-author, because we reached out to her and she's like, "Oh, how the fuck did you find out that this is in 2nd century?" And so we just kind of worked back and forth. She believed that Paul was a real person. She thought that Paul was a real guy and that later on they just wrote books in his name. That's all that she believed. Or that's a nutshell. In a nutshell, that's what she believed. But she has since softened her view on that because no. So at least initially, it only moved the needle just a little bit. It just said that the texts were later. Because you can't really do that when you're just citing everybody else that came before you. It takes forever for scholarship to move. Forever.
Yeah. I mean, that's how you learn to write in school as well. It's like just, you have to have like this amount of citations and write.
But yeah.
Well, so where do you think the idea of Christianity came from originally? Was it Marcion?
I think your laundry's ready.
It is. You hear that?
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, everybody in the
Thanks,
chat
guys.
says it too.
Thanks for the call out.
But anyways, what was your question?
So do you think like Christianity actually was made up by Marcion?
No, Christianity was
Like the
already
whole
around.
thing?
No,
Yeah,
he invents the
right.
mythology that we all connect to Christianity because of the text. He invents he starts the text-based part of the religion. Prior to that, it's just a mystery cult that had nothing to do with a Jesus. It was just a mystery cult with a Christ deity. And we see elements of it going all the way back to the 1st century BCE. Hell, technically there's elements of it going all the way back to 300 BCE. But yeah. But there's offshoots of offshoots of offshoots. And finally you have these loosely connected groups of Christianity that Marcion just decides, hey, we're going to just unite under this flag. We preach Christ Jesus. That's the Christ that we preach. As opposed to any other Christ.
But
yeah.
All right, hold up. I gotta go, but I'll come back up some other time.
All right. That was Walk on Water, Jesus Christ, and he's going to go get his laundry, guys. Before I get over to this old lump of coal, I've got some super chats to get to. $1.99 there for a lope note says, are Christians scared of a fucking dictionary? There's that. Yeah. Let's see. I don't really know. Sometimes they are. $5 from AXP Spicoli. No smell, no mess. No reason for a frown. Nope. I know where this is going. Just harmless, silly air when you're upside down. Ode to a queef. Arrow 404. Oh, Arrow. Yeah, that's Arrow 404's nonsense. Yeah, that sounds about right. Let's see. $5 there from Cameron Vinaroso says, it's funny that some guests come here for debate, but they don't understand pedestrian English. Another hashtag, raccoon buttholes, which, and this is true, that's what they eat over in the UK. I don't know if you guys knew that or not, but in the UK, they eat raccoon buttholes. And beans. Wait, did I need to put that? No, I don't think I did. Well, yeah, I'm about to. $4.99 from a lope note says, a queef's fact of the day. Oh my God. Wait, what? Okay. Religion is a coping mechanism that got a marketing team. Faith is just fear of reality with better branding. Sounds about right. I've heard the difference between a religion and a cult is the size. I've also I say that faith is the excuse that people give when they don't have a good reason to believe something. But if you do have a good reason to believe that Jesus or Paul existed, please come on up. I want to hear from you. Click the link that's in the chat there on YouTube, or if you're on TikTok, the link is right about there-ish or right down there. Come on up. I want to hear from you. Now, we're about to hear from someone named Lobes the Absurdist.
No, you're not. I took his phone because I misplaced mine. I just wanted to say earlier, because he was saying, Jaron, you've done this a lot. You do this a lot, right? And that's true. But you know what else Jaron does all the time is your mom.
Lobes, are you aware that Cyber could not take your phone because you guys live a good 800 miles apart?
Oh, it's really interesting because you live very far away from me, but there are photographs of us in the same place right next to each other. It's like you don't think people can travel long distances.
You mean to tell me that you, Cyber, I guess, traveled all the way to bumfuck the crazy ass state that I'm not going to dox Lobes for, in order to take his phone?
Well, I'll go ahead and just dox him. It's okay. So he lives in Virginia, right? Old Virginia, and no. So it was more like he was in West Virginia, and I have his tracker on, and he lost his phone. I was gonna return it to him, but then I was like, you know what? Actually, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go back to Idaho, and I'm gonna keep his phone and and I'm gonna call Jaron to do your mom joke. So that's what happened.
I like how you somehow slipped back into Lobes. Oh my God, what is this?
So I'm married. I don't slip into anybody except for one person. I'm not slipping into Lobes. He's married as well, and he doesn't really go that way. Despite his profile picture being quite phallic, he doesn't do that.
So
is quite phallic.
I don't know who the imposter is, because we also have Cyber Deconstruction up here.
I've got both my phones.
Oh, both your phones. Oh, okay. That makes sense. I don't know why you would want to hold them both.
Yeah, I'm holding that phone there, and then I'm holding this phone here.
Jaron, human beings have two hands, right? And just because phones are expensive doesn't mean that you can't have more than one. I don't know if you ever see Breaking Bad. There's a whole arc in Breaking Bad about the character having more than one cell phone.
Can you say into your other phone that you are a fan of Breaking Bad and explain the Breaking Bad premise in your other phone?
No, I'm not going to do that. You're not the boss of me.
Is it because I'm Jewish that you think you can be the boss of me?
Whoa. You know what? Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, in your other phone, can you say that you're Jewish?
No, I because the reason I won't do that is because then it's gonna make Lobes look bad. And some people aren't convinced that I actually have both phones, so they're going to think that he's just doing an impression because he's known for doing impressions of people, namely myself. But I don't want to do that to Lobes. I still consider Lobes a pretty good friend, so.
Okay. So you guys are friends. Now, are you able to say anything else about what's the screen name of your wife there? What's her screen name?
That'd be Crazy Faded.
I don't know which one. I don't know which one to pew pew. They both sound so close. You know what? The one through Lobes the Absurdist profile. Could you tell me?
Absurdist.
Could you tell me what theme was your wedding?
Yeah, so it was Norse, right? So because Crazy Faded, she's pagan. So we had a wonderful pagan wedding, and you were there. I don't know why you're asking me this. You already know the answer, right?
What does your water tower look like? The new water tower. What does it look like?
Well, it looks like a water tower. It looks like a tower that collects water and stores it for future use.
Okay, fair enough, and that's a solid answer. The other phone there, the cyber deconstruction phone. What would you say the new water tower looks like?
It looks like a water tower.
God damn it!
That just holds and collects water
for future use.
Mm-hmm.
And can I hear you say, Lobes, which water tower do you like better, the new one or the old one?
I kind of go back and forth on that, but I think that the new one has this kind of it's going to have more longevity, right? So I think I would be open to less heartbreak if over time, if I were to favor the newer one, because if they're gonna remove one, it's gonna be the older one first.
Okay, you know what? This is a question that only the real cyber would know, and I want this question first coming out of the Lobes the Absurdist profile, or that phone there. What did I order at the reception after your wedding? What did I order? What did I order?
It was a drink, right? Right.
What did I order to eat? What did I order to eat?
So that's a trick question, right? Because when you go to a reception and you order to eat food, it's like you only have a very limited menu. So obviously,
this wasn't off the menu there for the reception. This was a Jaren original.
A Joriginal.
The other phone. What did I order at that restaurant?
I don't remember what it was, because I'm not like obsessed with you or anything. But I'm sure that I'm gonna confirm on my other phone that I actually don't remember this one.
Yeah, it's the case that I don't remember. I know it was something weird. I just don't remember. I know it wasn't off the regular menu though, because we had a potluck outside.
Oh, we did have that potluck.
Anyway, Lopez's phone's dying, so I'm gonna put it down. And I just have to say, you all lost the game.
Motherfucker.
Well, he got you. He got you right where it hurts.
I'm telling you, on my other phone, I do a better impersonation than I do of myself on my actual phone. It must be the speakers or something. Maybe it's because it's a Samsung and this one's an iPhone. Maybe that's what it is. It's
probably what it is. It's that It's that Virginia cell reception is what it is, or that cell service.
Although, if somebody can clip when we both said crazy faded, that could get clipped.
It's on YouTube. It's on YouTube. Man. Anyways, Spirit Bunny says a cyber has the cutest voice literally ever. LOL.
Aww.
Well, there you go. Do we have a sound for that? Yeah, we got a sound for that. Oh, whoops. No. Aww. There we go. It's probably better. Let's see here. The shit. AZ Mike said Cyber is cute. Damn.
So, I'm gonna feel bad because I'm gonna forget her name. There's this one girl who's Christian, and like her whole argument is, Jesus existed, and when you try to talk with her, there's just Jesus existed. There's no way around it, and Jesus is God. And I started noticing that when I was on panels, is like when she was like popping up, and she's like, "Well, Cyber, I just want you to know that you're kind of cute." I'm like, "I'm married," and she's like, "Oh, well, you're still kind of cute," and I'm like, right. And then she sent me a bunch of resources that are all from like Genesis and stuff like that.
I thought you meant like, resources.
No. That
she said you're cute, and then she sent me a bunch of resources. We were reciting verses.
Yeah, we're reciting verses. Wink.
She sent you a bunch of race horses?
Yes, race horses. And if she was Mormon, somebody might even say they're racist horses.
None of them Appaloosas.
Fun fact, the Appaloosa is the Idaho State horse.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's funny.
In fact, the Nez Perce tribe, they do, they're up in northern Idaho. They do a whole Appaloosa breeding program.
JTims_8. What you got?
Just returning. So you say Jesus and Paul never existed?
That is what I say. Yes.
I mean, I do know that there's manuscripts to be written about these figures after their deaths, supposed deaths. Do those not count as evidence of these people existing in past tense?
Well, I mean, there's manuscripts of like Spider-Man as well. Like, what does that mean?
That's a comic book. That's not a manuscript.
Yeah. Well, I mean, still text being written down.
Yes.
I mean, the main problem is going to be with the actual content itself. Like, if you dive into the content of the story that talks about Jesus, does it actually line up with history? And we see that it doesn't. That's the problem.
Okay.
So, like, go ahead.
No. I was just gonna ask you to lay out the historical timeline that doesn't line up with the life of Jesus Christ.
Yeah. So whenever it talks about, say, for instance, we'll go with Pharisees. Whenever it talks about Pharisees giving him trouble while he's over in Galilee, that's really weird because Josephus, who was born in Galilee in 37, he says that it would be good for Galilee to get some Pharisees because they weren't there. They were over in Jerusalem. They were more of a political group.
In fact, he also writes that when he's being arrested by some Pharisees, that they were sent from Jerusalem, which is weird if Galilee had Pharisees, because they just arrest him from Galilee. They weren't trouble from Jerusalem.
So yeah, like this is just one example, but there's multiple examples of things that don't line up with the history of that particular time.
So what about? Hold on. What about Paul speaking with the Philistines?
What?
Paul, well, one of Paul's letters in the Bible, he speaks to Philistines, he speaks to non-Gentiles.
He speaks to the Philistines? Is that what he said?
I think so.
What book does he speak to the Philistines? Also, we can't really hear you. If you're talking, I can't really hear you. It kind of sounds like you put the phone in the bottom of a barrel.
No, sorry, I was looking for the.
Did you mean the Philistines?
Yes.
Oh, okay. The Philistines. Yeah, that's what it is. Sometimes it's hard to forget like how to say the words. Like sometimes you're thinking of Phyllis, and sometimes you're thinking of phallus. A phallus diller, like for once, like it's a very popular phallus.
And then also, so you guys don't believe that in the Old Testament they're giving prophecy of Jesus to come, and
Look,
then
if you bring up Isaiah 53, you're going to cause a time dilation and you're going to throw the Jewish people back into exile.
That's funny. No, well, it's not funny to throw them back in exile, but it's funny that's that's your point. But yeah. So, what does that have to do with anything? Does the existence of a prophecy somehow prove that the prophecy was fulfilled? You'd have to show me that Jesus actually did live, and then we could talk about whether or not he fulfilled prophecies. Like, I could make a prophecy right now. I could show it to you. Does that mean that like it came true? No. You'd have to show me that it actually came true, and then we can talk about whether or not I'm a prophet, or we can talk about the prophecies at that point. Does that make sense, J. Tims? Like Nostradamus made prophecies. We can point to his prophecies, but that doesn't mean anything.
no, yeah, I heard what you're saying.
Yeah, like we can point to the Old Testament all we want, but we don't figure out whether or not someone lived in history based off of a claim that they will exist. We base it off of the idea that they're currently existing or they existed.
So even with the Romans, saying that a person named Jesus Christ was crucified, that's no evidence.
Can you name one?
Yeah. I mean, that'd be decent, I guess. But what you got there for us?
No, not Tacitus.
And while we're waiting for him to find that, a lot of people may wonder why I always call Josephus a traitor. So, quick history on Josephus. During the first Jewish-Roman War, Josephus was a general, and he and his men were kind of like one of the last standing troops. And his troops had made a deal that they were either going to unalive on the battlefield, or they're going to commit, self-unalivement. And Josephus was like, wait, what are you doing? So Josephus surrenders. And Vespasian is, according to the story, Vespasian is like trying to decide if he's going to let Josephus live or he's going to unalive him. And Josephus just kind of throws out there like, you're about to become emperor, because Nero's still alive during this time. And Vespasian's kind of like, you're a funny man. I'm going to keep you around, mainly because I need information from you for the Jewish, for the future wars that are probably going to happen.
Funny man. First Jewish comedian there. He basically turns into Jerry. It's Josephus Seinfeld, just right there.
Yes.
What's the deal with all these Romans?
Right. But then Nero dies. Nero dies shortly after, and Vespasian becomes emperor, and he thinks Josephus is like a prophet. Like he predicted that he was gonna. So he really takes interest in Josephus, tells him, hey, I'm not going to unalive you, but you need to write a book making this war, our war against the Jews, look legitimate. So we get the Jewish war. If you ever read the Jewish war, it's literally like a justification for Vespasian and Rome's actions against the Jewish people. And in this, he gives away Jewish tactics, different things which aided the Romans in future incursions in Judea, leading up to the loss of the Third Jewish Roman War and the eventual exile of the Jewish people. So that's why Josephus is a traitor. So, anyways, go ahead there, J. Tims.
Yes. So here it says. Tacitus, the Roman senator and historian who wrote annuals around.
I thought we're talking about Josephus.
He noted that Christianity's founder Christus was executed by Pontius Pilate.
You were the one who brought up Josephus, wasn't it?
What was I thought I wanted the whole thing because he did, but anyways, okay. So Tacitus.
I thought you did.
I mean Tacitus, Suetonius, Pliny the Younger, and Apollonius Josephus.
Hold on. So have you read what these individuals said? Have you actually read it?
Their actual written text, no, I haven't. Not fully, no.
Do you think maybe before you start quoting them, that maybe you actually want to go do some research into what they're actually saying?
Sure.
Like, for example, what did Suetonius say? Let's go with Suetonius. We'll come back to Tacitus, but what did Suetonius say? Because I think you're just throwing a name out there. Don't Google it. Just let me know what it said off the top of your head.
He mentions a name named Christus. Chrestus.
Mm-hmm. And does he say anything about Christians? Or is he talking about a group of Jewish people?
Not that I'm seeing right now that I'm looking.
And is it possible that Suetonius and Tacitus might have been friends and known each other? And is it possible that when you compare their two stories, that maybe they're talking about the same group of people?
Possible. But also, have you guys ever heard of Serapis?
Him?
Yes, Serapis. Yes. The person who was created by the Ptolemaic dynasty in Egypt to be.
Yeah, tell us more.
To be considered to be Christ.
Tell us more.
I don't know how this is going to land.
I'm
with
curious.
Jesus, yeah, please land this plane. Also, is that the actual vor there in the channel or in the chat there on TikTok? I don't know if it is or not because it tells me like Voice of Reasons official. I didn't know that he changed his username, but anyways, if it is him, yeah, our best guess is Marcion because he's the first person to publish things there.
But yeah, tell me more about the Serapis from the Phalataic dynasty.
Serapis from
Serapis, Serapis,
Serapis. Oh, Ptolemy I Soter created and promoted the Greco-Roman god Serapis.
So how are you landing this plane?
Yeah, how are you lining that up with Jesus existing? I'm telling you right now, you're making my job really easy. But please,
no, this is one. I have questions on Jesus' actual existence. I have questions on Jesus' existence because of Serapis and his creation by the Greco-Romans in order to subjugate the Egyptian population of that time prior to Jesus actually being referenced and being actual in existence.
Dude, real quick, do you know who?
Fuck is going on?
Yeah, do you know who Ptolemy Soter the First was?
Yes, he was the general of Alexander the Great. who conquered
Okay,
Egypt.
so listen, Ptolemy the First, Soter, brings down a statue of Serapis down from Sinope down to Alexandria in about 300 BCE, all right, in order to bridge the gap between Greek and Egyptian beliefs. He does so, he says, because he had a dream telling him to do so from the unknown god. Then, later on, from Sinope, we get the first person to publish a gospel. His name is Marcion. Publishes in roughly 144. No, Dr. Jim. There was someone who came up yesterday and was like, Ptolemy. And I'm like, the P is silent. And he kept saying it. Weird. There was something else that he was saying weird. Oh, it was a therapeuti. He didn't know how to say it. So he just kind of, he was like, let's call them therapists. And I'm like, okay. I was not sure. Might as well. I don't know if that's, I mean, I honestly don't know if that's Vor. Vor says we have to rebrand because the Catholic Vor stole my name, then burned down his career. Who's the Catholic Vor? Are there different Vor? Is that like is there a Catholic Vor? Does the Catholic Vor like evolve into like Lutheran Vor? Is that how that works? I don't understand the evolution is what I'm saying.
Might be the Vor. What's your view on simulation theory? That'll let us know.
I don't understand it. well, no, not the that because but as you guys know, my take on Vor is simply somebody's a really big fan of the Matrix. I think that's pretty. That has literally been all I've ever said about Vor. It's that he's just a big fan of the Matrix. That's about all that I have. Anyways. But he actually, not too long ago, I think, or I say that, it was like a fucking year ago. I think he tagged me in a comment, and he's like, yeah, seriously, just asking. Like, does this, it was something about like the cup that they found in Alexandria or something like that. I mean, sincere guy. Felt like he was fairly sincere or whatever. I don't know if I've really had terribly many run-ins with him. Yeah. Apostate says, no, you got to talk about Minecraft. What? I don't know. Anyways, J Tims, you got anything else for Jesus or Paul other than like phalluses and something about the Old Testament and something about Sir Rapist?
I
don't really like those grunts there at the first, but okay.
All this phallus talk.
No one knows what it means, but it's provocative. It gets the people going.
You got anything, J Tims?
No, go ahead. No, that answered all my questions.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So really fast, could you run back through the bridge there? What was your point for bringing up Serapis, and how were you connecting that to Jesus existed, or were you saying that Jesus didn't exist because it was based off of Serapis? Is that what you're saying?
Yes, I believe that the story of Serapis being created was a precursor to the Christ figure. As we know, there were multiple Christ figures before Jesus Christ.
Welcome to mythicism?
Yeah, like that's pretty much exactly what I say. So, like, I don't know how. Yeah. Welcome aboard, buddy. Like,
I was never disagreeing with your point. I just had questions on how you on your reasoning for why you believe the way you believe is my question.
Oh. All right. Well, sounds good.
In. Storm has the cookies for the new members.
Yeah, Storm has the cookies for the new. Yeah, you can hop into a Discord. I don't know if he was moved or not, but there's a Discord. It's Deconstructing Chaos. If you can, mods put a link to the Discord there in YouTube and on TikTok. By the way, if you're on YouTube and you want to come up, you definitely can. Just click the link that's in the chat. I'll go ahead and the YouTube numbers dropped off significantly when you and Lobes were talking, but but I'll go ahead and put a link there in the chat. If anybody has any evidence for Jesus or Paul, come on up. Even if your name is Voice of Reason's Official and you're not Catholic, you can come on up. Let's see. And then really fast, let me get to some super chats. So $1.99 there from the Prototype says, so what did you order, Amadeus Ron? All right, so I like the fact that you're not using the Q word anymore. That's pretty good. I also like the fact that you are mentioning Amadeus Almighty. Amadeus Almighty is the phrase of the day because I am trying to, I'm trying something out here. We're obviously trying to show some love to Amadeus Almighty. So thank you very, very much for putting that on the board. Amadeus Almighty is a TikTok streamer who goes live later on in the evening, so make sure to look him up. Him and his girlfriend Storm absolutely do a great job going over a whole bunch of different topics, not just like Jesus, a little bit of Paul maybe, but yeah, science, God, morality, just religion in general. It's really good stuff. Check it out. Let's see. And then we've got $2 from Polentaphorus, says 50 ways to love your queefer. What?
You brought this upon yourself, Jaren. If you just stopped ticking it, about 2 to 3 weeks will go by and they'll stop.
Probably. I say that, but you never can tell. You really can't. But I will say that is 10, 15, 19. Yeah. So we are closing in on 508 times that has been said since the 14th of July. That's insane.
This is Joquephus?
In Super Chat, or got me to say it as a thing, I guess. No, Joe Feces there, and then above it is the date. But $10 from Resting Opface says, "Blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the queef of heaven. Blessed are those who queef, for they will be comforted. Blessed are the meek, for they will queef the earth." And there's a little comment that says, "I love that passage, very stirring," from YouTube Punk. So yeah, there's 3 right there. That's ridiculous.
Queefs, it's the wind before the storm.
All right. Anyways, was Vor able to come up? Where's that?
I think he posted he's not able to.
He's not able to. It says, "I'm working on the house. I'll join sometime when I look into the host claims more."
Buy his book.
Yeah, well, yeah, you can. You can. There's an ebook that's $3. It's Christ Before Jesus. You can check that out. The link's in my bio. But I guess, how are you not familiar? Like, how are you not familiar with my position? Like, you've seen me. The ebook is in my bio there. The ebook is, there's a link there out there. Yeah.
To be clear, in the book you go into a lot more detail than you do on here. Like on page 3, when people ask what your beliefs are, there's page 3. Go read it. But when you go over the church fathers, you go into detail more about the issues with what they say than you do on here.
Let's see. $4.99 from Tracy, formerly Yanto, says, "One of you graphics people need to make a queef god for Jaren." That's awful. We already have Latras, the righteous judge. There's that. Which, by the way, all hail Latras.
Can we bring back Little Kid?
What was that?
Can we bring back Little Kid Rock?
Little Kid, where is he? Little Bobby. It's Kid Rock over there. He's just a little kid. He's racist, but he's a little kid. Let me see. Let me see if I can find Bobby real fast.
Lil Bobby rocks.
Now, I want to know what Jaren's view on the Texas deity Hank Hill. You know he exists because of the worldwide sales of propane and propane accessories.
Oh my God. So this is Bobby. Bobby, would you like to say hello? Oh my God, Bobby. Jesus Christ. I don't know why I let this guy out. He's very racist. And he is a Kid Rock. It literally says, "My name is Kid." Anyways, so yeah. This is him. He's becoming very popular. He's got a lot of pictures with the Oompa Loompa in the White House. He's becoming quite the phenom, if you know what I mean. Also, he's unvaxxed. I don't know how.
He also read, Deuteronomy 22 verse 13 and rolled himself right to the top of the rock pile.
He's got some very candid opinions over black people, what he refers to as the other people, and also a lot of white people. So, not really sure what's going on there. But yeah, that's what we got.
He's super racist.
Super racist. Super.
He just hates everybody.
Yeah. I think he hates himself, to be honest.
Even himself.
Anyways, Heady Artist is up. Heady Artist, by the way, is the host of Divergent States. Divergent States is a podcast that you can find anywhere podcasts can be found. Maybe under a rock. Probably
YouTube. YouTube, Spotify, Apple, but I was gonna bring up. I've been looking into First Clement and the dating for all that, and it looks like the first time Clement that letter is mentioned is Dionysius in like 170, and I think Irenaeus a little bit later. But the dating actually goes because Eusebius later goes and says that Domitian was Clement was installed as bishop in the 12th year of Domitian. So, and then goes into it. So that's pretty much the entire timeline. It's because Eusebius placed him back in time.
Mm-hmm. Well, and that's actually like a pretty big issue with a lot of church history. A lot of church history literally comes from Eusebius, and he's like,
yeah, that was his whole job. It was like, here, let's write an official history. But what I've really found interesting about Clement is there's a lot of anti-Marcionite polemics in it. So it'd be hard to come before Marcion when there's a lot of these anti-Marcionite polemics, whether they're debating whether Yahweh, the creator, was the good God. And I mean, the whole letter is basically arguing for that position that Yahweh is the creator and the good God at the same time through Jesus. So yeah, be tough to be pre-Marcionite when he's talking about an awful lot of Marcionite ideas.
Definitely true. Let's see. Hard to come on, Marcion. Whoa. Ew. All right. Let's see here. I know that it actually kind of sort of worked last time. Should I restart YouTube? I think I sincerely think it's possible.
yeah, I'd give YouTube a restart.
Like, you can do that, I'm pretty sure. It does sort of kind of work the same way. But yeah, you'd have to wait for a guest and everything like that to do that. But there are super chats. So I wanted to make sure that we got to those. Let's see. $1.99 from the prototype says, "Who said I was stopping?" And Queefities of the Rod. There's a problem with like at least half of you. $5 there from Foo Rocker says, love your book. Oh, thank you very much. I read that scholars say that the Hadrian letter on Serapis was a forgery or satirical. Any thoughts on that? So here's the deal. It is either something that is real or it's something that was written in the 4th century because it shows up in the 4th century for the first time. Either way, it's somebody realizing that there is some kind of connection between Serapis and Christianity. If it's satirical, it is really weird. If it's satirical or fake or whatever, it's very strange that the only claim that the Christians are worshiping any other god other than Yahweh explicitly, like by name, is just Serapis. That's really weird. Like, there's already things that are swirling around that drain or whatever to show that, like, Christianity is connected to Serapis. It would be really odd that this is fake, but it's from somebody who's just joking, because it's pretty much spot on with what we're seeing. The text itself it's supposed to be a letter that is recalled by the former freed slave of Hadrian.
Mhm.
But the overall collection that it's found, which is Historia Augusta, it has some things in it that are fake. It has some things in it that are questionable. It has some decent things in there as well, but it's a collection of letters and writings and stuff. And so this one, people just go, eh. But because it talks bad about the Christians, a lot of people are very quick to say that it's fake, but it doesn't really make a lot of sense that it would be if it's talking about Serapis, and there's so many other connections to Serapis, and that's the only one that, like, no one ever says they worship Zeus. No one ever says they worship this other deity. They just say Yahweh or this one letter that says Serapis. It's kind of weird. Let's see here.
Well, and an important thing too is that Hadrian kind of was trying to revitalize Serapis worship. He built Serapis and Isis temples all over the empire.
That is a good point. That is a good point. He did do that. So it would make sense that he would be talking about it. Like, it actually lines up quite a bit with not only what we see, like I said, swirling around like early Christianity, but it also lines up with what Hadrian himself would care about and know about. It's really weird. It's really weird. 2 pounds. Oh, sorry. Yes, 2 pounds. 2 pounds from Neptune Cult says CBJ saying vor on Maine sounds tasty. No, well, I guess it's VOR. I guess everybody calls him vor, I guess, but VOR. I guess he had to rebrand. It's now Voice of Reasons or something. I don't know. I didn't know about the Catholic version or whatever, the Catholic take on it. But yeah, I'm just referring to some guy who's there on the TikTok chat there. Who I think I've had like a conversation with, like, maybe briefly once before. But I mean, I'd love to have him up on the channel. It's not a problem. He's kind of horrible. Yeah. Well, I know of him. I know of him, and I'm pretty sure we had a conversation maybe 2 years ago.
I have a quick question.
Oh, really fast. Let me knock out this one fast.
Okay.
$1.99 there from the Prototype 1619, who says, I know there is, but who do you think you are? I am. Who do you think you are? I am. Anyways, yes, Cyber, what you got?
So, are you does stellometry work? Like, let's say I have a small letter and doesn't have the word count to get a good reading. But let's say I have a collection of small letters. Am I able to combine them together to do a reading? Or will the fact that they're like different letters throw off the stellometry analysis?
As long as they're from the same author, then you're fine.
Okay, because my question would be is we have a few letters that aren't in that book, like the letter to Ramus Martialis. It's fairly short. He writes a letter to the Ephesians. With Hadrian, we have a few letters. One of them is like one sentence long. But my question is if we were to stack these together and then run stellometry against the letter found in Historia Augusta, we could probably narrow it down whether or not it is him or not.
Well, we'd have to make sure that the language that is written and is the same language that Hadrian wrote in. I think that's the problem, is we'd have to know, because I think Historia Augusta is, I think it's Greek, pretty sure it is. But you just have to compare it, is the thing.
Yeah.
And you gotta have the same known author, and then you gotta have the same language is the problem. But anyways,
Hadrian often intentionally wrote in Greek and not Latin. He wasn't a fan of the Latin language.
Yeah, we just have to find some of the writings there for it, and we'd be able to kind of run something. I think I took a look into it before, but the problem was that we didn't really have anything in the same language from him to compare it to. Is the problem? Is Historia Augusta? Is that?
Yeah, it looks like if he's writing something that went to like...
Oh, it's Latin. Historia Augusta is Latin.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah.
So if he's writing things that are for legal Roman use, like legal transcripts and rescripts or military documents, those would be in Latin. If he was writing letters to anybody else that wasn't for a legal purpose, they'd be in Greek.
Yeah. Let's see. Yeah, for Historia Augusta itself, the true authorship of the work, its actual date, its reliability, and its purpose have long been matters of controversy by historians and scholars ever since Hermann de Sauw in 1889 rejected both the date and authorship as stated within the manuscript. Major problems include the nature of the sources that it used and how much of the content is pure fiction. For instance, the collection contains in all about 150 alleged documents, including 68 letters, 60 speeches, and proposals to the people or the Senate, and 20 senatorial decrees and acclamations. Yeah. It says by the second decade of the 21st century. That's weird. Just say the 2010s. That's weird. The consensus supported the position that there was only a single author who wrote either in the late 4th century or the early 5th century who was interested in blending contemporary issues, political, religious, and social, into the lives of the 3rd century emperors.
We don't have any surviving writings of his in Latin.
Yeah,
as far as outside of that, yeah.
Yeah, that was the problem, is that there wasn't anything in Latin that I can compare it to. Yeah, so that's the issue. But yeah, it starts with Hadrian. It starts with Hadrian and then continues on all the way up to 285, so through the 3rd century. So it starts in the early 2nd century, or early to mid 2nd century, and tries to say that these things were going on. That these are writings from that time period. Yeah, so that's the problem. So yeah. All right, I'm going to try restarting over there on YouTube. Let me see if that helps.